spot on. Because we got a lot of stuff to run.
It may not require a textbook, but it's filled with valuable lessons. It may not take place in a classroom, but it's an ideal environment for learning. It may not involve a diploma, but it can help prepare Kentucky's young people for life. It's high school sports. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students that participate in high school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think again. Better yet, think about attending a high school sporting event in your community. You'll be amazed by what you see. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Kentucky High School Athletic Association and the Kentucky High School Athletic Directors Association.
I'm not happy with my teeth. They're not straight enough.
Let me fix them for you.
No. You are not White, Greer, and Maggard.
I'm sort of like White, Greer, and Maggard. I'm local, love smiles, love to fix things.
No.
Sorta you isn't you. White, Greer, and Maggard, where a beautiful smile is just the beginning.
At Raising Cane's, we believe in one love. But creating one love is no simple task. Everything has to be served hot and fresh, not just hot. We use only 100% premium chicken tenderloins for a 0% chance of leftovers. We insist on the best ingredients for our fries, like potatoes. And, well, we can keep talking quality, or you can just eat it. Raising Cane's, one love.
Visit us today at one of our 6 Lexington area locations. choosing a college is about setting a course, a path that leads to your destination. At EKU, the adventure is what lies in between. Eastern Kentucky University. Great journeys begin here.
Hey, great party.
Oh, thanks. Here you go. One hamburger, medium well.
This is well done.
No. That's medium well.
What? Are you calling me a liar? This thing is practically burned.
That's it. You're not gonna come to my house and tell me how to cook a hamburger.
You wouldn't do it there.
Gotta be crazy.
So, don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
At Central Bank, we like to call ourselves your friendly neighborhood financial experts because we get to help an entire community of customers achieve their financial dreams. So whether you're opening a checking account or buying your first home, you've got a team of local experts to coach you all the way.
Wow.
See what 70 years of experience can do for your financial future with Central Bank.
How many times are you going to drive off with those things?
Official bank of UK Athletics.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
Whitaker Bank supports 496 Kentucky schools.
Over 282,000 students benefit from Whitaker Bank's Kentucky education initiatives.
Whitaker Bank has contributed almost $441,000 to education programs for the advancement of Kentucky's youth.
We share your passion, Kentucky.
Love the bank that loves you back.
Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
White, Greer, and Maggard, where a beautiful smile is just the beginning.
I am Lee, and I'm happy with my smile.
And I'm other Lee, and I ain't happy with my smile.
I went to White, Greer, and Maggard, and they fixed my smile for me.
And I never smile, and that's why I'm having some alone time here at dinner.
I love that I can go to White, Greer, and Maggard with all my questions.
And I love that I don't have to brush my teeth at night.
Don't be like this, me. Go to White, Greer, and Maggard for a picture-perfect smile.
It may not require a textbook, but it's filled with valuable lessons. It may not take place in a classroom, but it's an ideal environment for learning. It may not involve a diploma, but it can help prepare Kentucky's young people for life. It's high school sports. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students that participate in high school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think again. Better yet, think about attending a high school sporting event in your community. You'll be amazed by what you see. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Kentucky High School Athletic Association and the Kentucky High School Athletic Directors Association.
Well, good evening and welcome back to the 11th Region Basketball Tournament here at Eastern Kentucky University. Tonight it's the championship game of the 11th Region, and a guy that knows a little bit about the 11th Region Basketball Tournament and getting to a championship game, Donnie Atkins, the ball coach from Lafayette High School, and now, of course, co-host of the Kentucky Scoreboard with Rick Shaw on Friday night, statewide high school show that does a tremendous service to all the high school kids. And Donnie, you've worked some of this tournament with me, and no surprise tonight that Dunbar and Scott County are the two last standing.
Not at all, Gary. Both teams through the year have been really good basketball teams. They've done what they've done. They've competed against good competition. They've played well, and it's going to be, I think, a very good basketball game tonight.
You know, when you look at Dunbar, they have some guys that obviously can step it up. When you look at Darius Williams and Tavion Hollingsworth, Jordan Lewis, Dontel Brown. But then you look at Scott County, it's the kiddie core over there with 3 freshmen, a sophomore and a junior. But sometimes young kids are too kind of young to really figure out what they're in the middle of, whereas these seniors here, especially for Dunbar, it's their last go-around.
Well, Gary, I tell you what, sometimes, when you're young, you don't understand the pressure that's going on with tonight's game. You don't understand about it. But at the same time, they will make freshman mistakes. That's just how it is. They'll do those things. Now, can they come back from that? That's the other point.
Yeah.
I think what it comes down to tonight is which team wants to practice tomorrow the most. It really is. They have to have that mindset. I want to practice tomorrow. It's not about winning this game tonight. It's about how much I want to get back in the gym tomorrow and come out and play hard enough to win.
Coach Atkins, just in this tournament in 2 games, Darius Williams, a sensational player for Dunbar, is averaging nearly 28 points a game, 7.5 rebounds, and then Tavion Hollingsworth is averaging 21 points and 8 rebounds so those guys have combined for almost 50 points a game in this tournament for Dunbar.
And Gary, that's true, but somebody else, Brown, Williams, somebody's going to have to step up tonight to help those 2 out. They're just going to have to do it. To win the ball game and to play well, Dunbar has to do that. That third person has to step forward and play well.
And speaking of those young guys for Scott County, Michael Marino, the freshman, 6'6" freshman, in this tournament is averaging 17.5 rebounds. He's coming off a 22 rebound effort Saturday, and he's averaging 15 points. They've got 4 guys in this tournament averaging in double figures, which is pretty much what they had in the regular season.
And Billy's always been, they've talked about Billy's defense, red heat, and all that jam when their fans get going. But at the same time, Coach Hicks knows what to do from the offensive end, and he will try to outscore you sometimes.
Nice crowd filing in here to the Alumni Coliseum on the campus of Eastern Kentucky University. It is the 11th Region Championship game tonight. We've been here all week for all the girls and boys. We crowned a girls 11th Region champion. Great effort by Bryan Station girls, winning 20 games this year, but fell a little short to a really good Franklin County girls team.
Well, Franklin County, again, Gary just had too many pieces. Yeah. I mean, they had 6, 7, 8 girls, maybe 9 even, that could come in and do the job, whereas I think Bryan Station, 6, 7 at the most.
And you look at tonight, Scott County and Dunbar, it's been since 1997 since Dunbar played in a regional championship. Billy Hicks just a few years ago with a guard by the name of Trenton Gilbert took his team all the way to the championship game. Trenton Gilbert now starring up at Georgetown College after 1 year stint at the University of Louisville. So we know what Billy Hicks can do. Now the X factor, what can Dunbar do? I mean, none of these kids were even born the last time Dunbar was in the regional championship.
Gary, I tell you, it's going to be interesting. I'm sure Coach Hicks will come up with a few tricks tonight, try to get his young people. The one thing, the young man that rebounds so well for Scott County is going to be a very factor, and they're going to have to keep him off the boards, keep him away from those offensive putbacks.
Well, in just a couple of minutes, we're going to go to the public address announcer with tonight's starting lineups. By the way, we got it all covered tonight. We got a state championship coach at the mic with us. We have one of the up-and-coming bright stars of coaching, Lee DeForest, who does the Princeton offense and is well-liked all over the state of Kentucky because of his innovations in the offenses and so forth at high schools. And he's also former Garrett County head coach and now top assistant with Damon Kelly at West Jessamine. So got him. And we go beyond that, Coach Atkins. We got Darren Douglas manning the sidelines. It doesn't get much better than that.
That's right.
So double D on the sidelines, and he'll be talking to our fans in the stands and getting some comments from folks, and they'll also mic up the public address. I think these announcers at this tournament, the guys doing the PA have done a fantastic job.
Super job, Gary. Plus, I mean, you can't just praise the people at Eastern Kentucky University so much for the job they've done in hosting this tournament for us in the 11th region, and we're so happy that they came forward and did this for us.
And you know who else cooperated this week? The weatherman.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, we've had to postpone the regional tournaments a couple of times.
Yes,
and we're very lucky that didn't happen.
Thank you, Mr. Chris Bailey.
That's
I guess he had something to do with it. I'm not sure. But Gary Ball, Donnie Atkins, Darren Douglas, and William Warfield producing. We're going to go courtside now to Darren Douglas and the public address announcer.
Basketball action. Tonight's championship game features the Bulldogs of Paul Lawrence Dunbar and the Cardinals of Scott County.
We'll meet the players on both teams and have your starting lineups. We ask now that you please all rise as we honor America, its freedom, and those who protect it with the playing of our national anthem, performed tonight by the Scott County Pep Band under the direction of Greg Stepp. And now, our national anthem. Our players not in tonight's starting lineup. For the Bulldogs of Lawrence Dunbar, number 5, Michael Poirier. Number 12, Ben Keplinger. Number 14, Vince Clark. Number 15, Davia Richardson. Number 20, Jordan Brown. Number 21, Jared Gadd. Number 22, Trey Holman. Number 31, Matt Brown. And number 50, Kaylin Whiteside. Assistant coaches for the Bulldogs are Chris Armstrong, Marquise Esther, Stephon Harris, Jonathan Moore, and Devin Ward. Those players not in the starting lineup for the Cardinals of Scott County. Number 1, Cam Fluker. Number 3, Bryce Fryman. Number 5, Dakota Allen. Number 12, Caleb Covington. Number 15, Josh Davis. Number 22, Zane Wilson. Number 23, Peyton Shotwell. Number 32, Clem Damron. Number 33, Lorenzo Williams. And number 45, Landon Easley. Assistant coaches for the Cardinals are Charles Fluker, Tim Glenn, Dudley Mattingly, and Chris Wilhite. And now, let's meet our starting lineups. First, for the Bulldogs of Paul Lawrence Dunbar High School, out of Region 43, wearing their black uniforms trimmed in red and white. At guard, a 6-foot senior, number 0, Jordan Lewis. At forward, a 6'5" junior, number 4, Dontel Brown. At guard, a 6'2" junior, number 11, Tavion Hollingsworth. At guard, a 6'3" senior, number 13, Justin Kelly. At guard, a 6'4" senior, number 23, Darius Williams. The Bulldogs are coached by Scott Chalk. And now the Cardinals of Scott County, out of Region 42, wearing their white uniforms, trimmed in red and blue. At guard, a 6'1" freshman, number 2, Bryce Long. At guard, a 6'1" sophomore, number 10, Cooper Robb. At guard, a 6'1" freshman, number 14, Glenn Covington. At forward, a 6'6" freshman, number 24, Michael Moreno. At center, a 6'4" junior, number 44, Cooper Watts. The Cardinals are coached by Billy Hicks. Your officials for tonight's game are Michael Pangallo, James Pouncey, and Brian Sadler. Let's play some basketball.
One thing I like about the lineup, Coach Donnie Atkins, is the fact that Clem Damron is not in that starting lineup after the great opening round region with 18 points. He did get the start Saturday, so I don't know if he's a kid that likes, some guys like to come off the bench better than they do starting the game. Somehow they get in the flow of it a little bit better. They don't get in the flow when they start. Maybe he's one of those guys, but he sure had a great ball game in that first game when he had 18 points. So Clem Damron here, as you said, the starting lineups will be Jordan Lewis, Dontel Brown, Tavion Hollingsworth, Justin Kelly, Darius Williams, Mr. Basketball finalist. It'll be for Scott County. It'll be Bryce Long. It'll be Cooper Robb, Glenn Covington, Michael Marino, and Cooper Watts. And yeah, that's when they met last time, Coach. They met. Let's get Coach. Microphone turned on there.
There we go.
Tapped up. Dontel Brown's got it in backcourt. Hands it now to Jordan Lewis, and this 11th Region Championship is underway. Gary Ball with Coach Donnie Atkins, who won a 11th Region crown in 2001 and a state championship. Darren Douglas, our sideline reporter. William Moorfield on controls. Kelly looking over to Scott County.
Coming out in the zone. Little 1-2-2 zone here.
Not a bad idea, Coach.
Maybe just try to make Dunbar shoot from the outside.
Lewis for Dunbar in the black with the red, and Scott County in the white with the red. Kelly, the great soccer player, all-state soccer. They dump it over to Darius Williams. Williams down the left side, loses a handle on it. Picked up Michael Marino, the freshman, says, I'll take that. Leads it out now to Bryce Long. Long slowing up, double team, and knocked to the floor. Jump ball is going to be called. And possession arrow, of course, to keep it in the hands of the Cardinals. I'll tell you what, they were swarming after he stopped, didn't he?
He picked the ball up, and two of them going after it.
Marino comes way out. Hollingsworth there to the basket, hanging off glass. Won't go there for Robb, and knocked out. They're going to give it to Dunbar. 7-11. We've played 49 seconds. And
one shot.
One shot.
Only. Turnover.
I think it was an M&M. Says sometimes you get one shot. Nice. What hands here? Tavion Hollingsworth.
He went up and got it, didn't he?
With one hand. Kelly, right side free throw line extended. Covington comes out on him. Over to Lewis, fakes with the ball. He does that well. Goes over to Darius Williams. Well, Scott County getting after him defensively. Williams hands it back to Lewis. Down low and threw a bullet through the hands of Dontel Brown. You know what happened? They played back on February 18th, Donnie, and that was one big by Dunbar, 81-51. Is that a factor at all tonight?
No, throw it out. Just throw that game out.
Let me take that paper and just throw it in the garbage right now.
I'm sure Coach Hicks didn't even mention the score, except to maybe do a little motivation.
Covington going to Marino, knocked away by Lewis.
Off
and
his
they're
leg.
they said he knocked it off of. No, they say Lewis knocked it down. They're going to give it back to Scott County. I'm like you. I thought for a moment they were going to give it to Dunbar. So Cooper Robb, the sophomore, kicks it over now long, about a 10-footer, and rolls out of there. Went halfway down on the floor with it. Coming out there with it is Lewis. He wants the street. Lewis, back tap, steal by Scott County. Long pass to Cooper Watts. Watts is going to track it down, gives to Glenn Covington. Covington now, down low, good pass, going to be a grab, and a foul's going to be called as Robb was going to have an open lay-in, and the foul's going to be called on Lewis. Officials are going to talk about it. They're conferring right now on whether it wasn't.
I don't know if he fouled him intentionally. He might have just grabbed as he went by up with the ball.
They're going to change it to an intentional foul, and Scott County will shoot the technicals and the free throw. So good opportunity for the Cardinals to get the first points of this game. No score, 6:19 in the first.
2 shots and the ball.
Cooper Robb, a 73% shooter, misses that one. No
Nice
score.
crowd in here tonight, Gary.
Oh yeah, real good crowd. There's quite a few people in that second deck up there.
Being Scott County's ball underneath their basket.
So the intentional foul after the officials conferred, and 1-0. Scott County on top, and they get the ball. Long looking for cutters. Covington streaking. Gives it down low, knocked away by Kelly in the hands of Dontel Brown. Hands it out to Jordan Lewis, the senior. Lewis down court quickly, now stalled. Give it over to Darius Williams deep in the corner. Watts reaches in, slaps the ball, and then he gets it back to Jordan Lewis. Lewis puts it down. 6 minutes to go. First quarter, 1-0. Scott County on top. Tavion Hollingsworth to Lewis. Back over to Tavion. Goes baseline. Cut off. Dumps it back to Dontel Brown. Left hand. Puts it in. Dontel Brown, the big football player.
Nice left-handed shot by Dontel Brown in there, Gary. Nice pass by Hollingsworth.
Well, he looks like a football player, doesn't he?
He does.
Long, angling right. Cut off. Gives it to Glenn Covington. He is a terrific safety in football and going to be an all-state football player, this young man with the basketball. 5:32, 2-1. Dunbar on top on the Dontel Brown left-handed high. Here's Marino way out top off the front of the iron. No, there's Dontel Brown pulling down yet another rebound for Mr. Brown. He's got 2 of them now.
Scott County really inviting that outside shot, Gary.
Lewis, 3, in and out. Dontel Brown slaps it out to Lewis. Lewis to the basket, floater, off the back, no, Brown battling, tapped up. Williams taps it, Dontel Brown gets it, blocked away by Watts, whistle and a foul called, and Billy Hicks does not like it. He thought Cooper got all ball. Foul's going to be on Cooper Watts. So Dontel Brown, not his best.
That's not part of his game.
Yeah, and not his best thing is free throw shooting, but man, he's been knocking them down in this tournament.
That looks pretty good.
As we say that, Dontel Brown in this tournament from the line is, let's see, his free throws.
75%.
75%.
And he shot a lot, but he's pretty good.
Well, he's more than that now, so he made that one.
Yeah.
It's higher than 75, made them both. So I'm going to shut up about that too.
That's right.
That's 4 for Brown. And Glenn Covington, of course, great wide receiver on that team. But he seemed to me like he did play some defensive back as well. But what a receiver he is. Thank you, Mike Ritchie. 4-1. I guess we just should have just stuck that he's a football player. Shot won't go by Watts. Coming out of there with a Tavion. Tavion down the middle. Hollingsworth to the basket. And it's blocked away by Marino. He had 7 of them Saturday in their semifinal win over Lafayette.
Nice job by Marino, staying away from the foul, going right after the ball.
Donnie, he nearly had a triple-double Saturday against Lafayette. Marino, the freshman. Yep. 4-1. Here's Kelly, a long 3 off the front, no good. Stuck back up in Hollingsworth, too strong. Cooper Watts rips it off. So Dunbar a little tight on some of those short-range shots. Except for Dontel Brown, he knocked it down. 4-1, Dunbar. 4-16. The winner goes to the Rupp Arena for the Whitaker Bank HSAA Boys Sweet 16 next week. They will play Wednesday night at 8 o'clock against the 12. That final is Southwestern. Lob down low. Marino tries to grab it. Off glass, put it down. What great balance there by Marino to stay with that and then catch the ball on the other side and put it in.
Tipped it up and over and got his own kind of miss shot.
Tipped it to himself. Is that a rebound and an assist?
Yeah.
Shot won't go there for Williams. Pulled out of there by Marino.
Been able to get it down inside to Brown a couple of times. A couple of times he scored, and that one he didn't.
Marino with Kelly on him as Rob hits the floor. Cooper Watts hands to Glenn Covington. High arcer. Got it!
Our first three-pointer of the night.
It's by the southpaw, Glenn Covington, the 6'1 freshman. He makes it 6-4. Scott County Cardinals on top of the Dunbar Bulldogs here at the 11th region. Boy, this crowd really filling up now. There's still folks coming in here, Donnie.
Yes, sir.
3:08 to go here in the first quarter. Some contact there with Darius Williams. Tavion Hollingsworth back to Darius. Covington on him. Darius crossing over, spinning. And as he traveled with it. Turn it over. Good defense there by Glenn Covington.
Just try to force things too much.
Scott County put in a 3-2 zone. Yep. You know, they played them back in February just for this game, this specific game against Dunbar.
You know, he's doing it, and he's doing it to try to keep him outside, make him shoot that outside shot, not get the drives to the basket that Dunbar likes to do.
Marino faking with the ball over to Cooper. Rob lines up a 17-footer. Off the mark, pulled out of there. Williams, long pass to Tavion Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth was voted as the Region Player of the Year by the coaches. Even though Darius Williams and Tisdale of Henry Clay are the Mr. Basketball finalists. And a long three by Darius Williams. First three for Dunbar after we saw down here Glenn Covington nail a long three for Scott County. Marino spinning, turns off glass.
Nice.
Boy, this kid can play. He's a freshman. Double-double average on the season. 4 points for him. 8-7 Scott County. We're going to have a jump ball call. Possession arrow will give it to Dunbar. Scott Chalk and Billy Hicks.
Coach Chalk wanted maybe a little reach-in foul there.
Tavion, about a 10-footer, won't go, but he's fouled. I think Watts got him. Long flew through there also. Yep. There were two of them there.
I was on 40.
That's Watts. So Cooper Watts. You've got Clem Dameron sitting over there, number 32, who had 18 points in their big win over Madison Central. That's 2 fouls now on Watts. I don't think it's going to be long. As soon as Billy Hicks realizes that Watts has 2, he's probably going to bring Dameron in the game.
Gary, you can look at these young people's faces and their body language. And you can tell right now that they are really expending some energy out there. It's going to be subs coming into the game that give that spark to them now. Okay.
With 2:09 to go here in the first period. 8-8 score. Tavion.
That's new.
Is that a first for you, Mr. Atkins?
I guess.
9-8. We won't even say what just happened. With the ball, Kelly. Coming with it, Williams. Now goes. Here's Darius. Left hand, no. Coming out of there with it. Rob picked up by Kelly. Powers it up, no. And then stuck up Williams, no. There's Lewis. He says, I'll take it. Dribbles out. Lewis says, hey, let's set something up out here. A lot of activity underneath that basket. 9-8. Here's Williams a long three, and it won't go, but rebounded by Dontel Brown. Brown powers his way, Marino, and blocked there by Dameron. So that's going to be the third foul in that position because Dameron just checked in for Watts, who had 2.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, they're battling, Coach.
Dunbar went to war
really
right
battling. Look at Dontel Brown. He's already got 3 rebounds, and I guarantee 2 of those are offensive.
Yes.
Dontel Brown. They're working on his, when football starts this spring, they're going to be working on his hands and make a big tight end out of him. That's what I heard from the Dunbar folks anyway.
12 rebounds for Dunbar already, Gary.
Brown, well, Coach, he's 3 of 4, so he's 75% in this game too, just like he is in the regional tournament. 10-8, Dunbar by 2. Marino now has a back tap by Hollingsworth right in the hands of Dameron. He turns baseline short, pulled out of there by Williams. Darius Williams in trouble. Guarded by Glencoe, gives to Dontel Brown, goes in on Marino, puts it in.
Timeout. Coach Hicks, take a 30-second timeout.
Billy Hicks wants a timeout, 12-8. Dontel Brown, the big fella, asserted himself with 7 points already. He has 7 of 12. You said in the pregame, Coach Atkins, it's usually that other guy. You know, the superstars have their
They're going to get there.
They're going to get there.
They're going to get there.
Right
you
now.
You can count on somebody. You know, you can count on those guys that are averaging those points for you to get them. Somebody else has got to step forward in big games like this, Gary, and do the job. And tonight, Brown is doing that for Dunbar.
That other guy right now is Dontel Brown, no doubt about it. Just a great crowd in here at Alumni Coliseum for the Boys 11th Region Championship. Congratulations to my intern, Rebecca Cook from Franklin County. Another regional championship. She's headed to the state tournament Wednesday. Rebecca, great. You've met her, Coach. What a great play. She did her sideline for us.
They played the
Shelby Valley.
Shelby Valley.
Yeah.
16th or 15th region team.
They're favored by probably 10 or 12 points, but you know they went to Diddle Arena last year in Bowling Green. This year it's up at NKU, and Coach Thacker says, yeah, we know we laid an egg last year, so they're going to try to prevent that this year. Marino gives it back now to Rob, slicing through. Great pass, laid up and in. Nicely done there by Dameron, nicely done by Rob. 12-10, Paul Lawrence Dunbar. They were ranked number 1 most of the season, weren't they, Coach? I know they were number 1 after they won that Traditional Bank Classic and beat Trinity in the final over there. Very highly regarded team. Darius Williams goes over to Lewis, launches the 3. That's too strong. Dameron taps and pulls it down from himself as he tapped it up in the air.
Scott County's got a chance to take the lead, Gary, on this possession with a 3.
32 seconds here in the first quarter.
And Dunbar has gone to a 2-3 zone.
Cooper Robb, a sophomore, over to freshman Covington. And that big 3 back of the rim, no. Rebounded by Marino. Gives it back to Covington, moves in a little bit closer. That one's no good. What a rebound there by Lewis. Leads it out to Darius Williams, streaking down. Lays it up and in. I thought he was going to dunk it. That's 5 for Darius. 14-10, Dunbar before.
Not going to get a shot unless they hurry.
Marino. Nope. Yeah, Marino should have launched it. Marino should have launched it from half court, but he didn't know there was only a second left. Pretty good quarter, particularly for Dontel Brown of Dunbar. What a great quarter by that young man. He had 7 points, 3 rebounds to lead everybody in that quarter of action, 14-10. Again, we want to thank our sponsors, White, Greer, and Maggard. Raising Cane's Chicken. We'll have the Raising Cane's Chicken fan in the stand. Whitaker Bank Shot, UK Sports Medicine, Central Bank, Bob Roberts Insurance. They're right here in Richmond, Kentucky. Bob Roberts Insurance, Joe and John Roberts. Go see them for all your insurance needs. They insure half the state of Kentucky. Every Saturday at noon, check out high school sports on the Scholastic Ball Report. In our 14th season, Coach, of the Scholastic Ball Report on the CW and the Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week.
Gary, I tell you what, great job. You and Lewis all put that together and started it 14 years ago. It's been a great addition to high school sports around Central Kentucky, but also out through the state. A lot of people know about it. A lot of people really enjoy what you do.
We created that show walking out of what you do, the scoreboard right now on a Friday night. It was snowing out there, and Lewis and I got to talk and said, you know, a radio show, let's do a TV show with emphasizing high school sports. And as they say, the rest is history. Marino.
Out of the timeout. Let's see what Scott County is going to do here today. Dunbar's got a sub in, Gary. 2 subs to start the quarter.
Marino. Yeah, they've got Vince Clark in there and Jordan Brown. And they're putting pressure on Rob. Goes to Marino. He's kind of the release valve there, isn't he?
Yep. Bring him up in the middle.
And Dakota Allen's in there. Here's Long. Missed the 3. It looked good from here, but we're midcourt diving on the floor. Rob diving on the floor. Hot now diving. Everybody diving on the floor. And yeah, they're going to give it to Dunbar. If you're just tuning in, this is the 11th Region Championship in Richmond at Eastern Kentucky University Alumni Coliseum. Gary Ball, Donnie Atkins, the state championship coach. Also Darren Douglas, our sideline reporter. William Warfield, our streamer. Boy, it looks good. I know you folks at home watching it on your computer, your laptop, your iPad, your smartphone. You're really enjoying the quality of this video.
Gary, both schools well represented by student bodies and a lot of spirit shown.
Oh, man, this is a big crowd. Of course, 11th Region semis and final generally are a pretty packed house here. This seat's about what, Donnie? 6? 5.5?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
7:12 to go, and Dunbar is going to pull Scott County out of that.
Make them come out of that zone.
Lewis and Hollingsworth looking up at the clock. Goes back over to Tavian. He moves a little bit closer. Lewis over now to Vince Clark. Back to Clark. Dontel Brown posting up on Dameron. Big battle going on there between Dameron and Dontel Brown. Lewis kicks it over now. Clark going to the baseline. Hanging, throw it up against the bottom of the board. And Michael Marino comes out. We're going to have a whistle foul called. Let's look at Marino. How many rebounds? 3 rebounds already for Michael Marino.
Clark did a nice job penetration, Gary. Just needed to stop and jump up there and shoot that little jump shot.
Shout out to our good friend Mike Ritchie. He's watching up in Cincinnati. Here is Tavion with the steal. Rob back, though, and cuts off, and the official there saying that's going to be a reach, and Billy Hicks is going quickly down to get Glenn Covington back in there, as he didn't like the defense there of Bryce Long. Long, only a freshman. I know Billy has to tell himself sometimes, he's just a freshman.
That's right, yeah.
But he's still going to sit him on the bench.
That's right. Can't afford those mistakes in this game, those unforced errors like that.
Who'd you play in your 11th region final, Coach Atkins?
Lexington Catholic.
Yep. Tavion, ball on the floor, and Dakota Allen there battling with him, and also Dameron. Jump ball will keep it back to the Bulldogs. 6:29 first half. So you played Lexington Catholic. Who were their big guns that year in 01?
They had Bell, little guard that shot well inside also. I don't remember the names.
Of course, you went on to win the big prize that year, the KHSAA State Championship, 2001. Tavion Hollingsworth, front of the iron, no. Glenn Covington there, rips it off.
Now Dunbar's back playing his own.
Rob goes back to Glenn Covington. Over on the left side to Cam Fluker, the freshman. Fluker's in there with Michael Marino, freshman, and Dameron, the senior. Here's Fluker off the right side. No good. Ball kicked by Tavion. Covington battling for it. Tavion kicks it back to Brown. They go to Darius Williams. He turns, lays it up, and then Marino was in tow and almost got to him. Just missed it. We got a couple players down. Looks like Tavion Hollingsworth shaking up there at midcourt. That doesn't look good for Dunbar.
Going to sub in for him.
Might have rolled his ankle a little bit. Justin Kelly up off the Scott Chalk bench. That is one guy you do not want to lose any type of injury if you're Dunbar. Tavion Hollingsworth, 11th Region Player of the Year.
Officials start play.
What happened there? I didn't really see that.
Going for the loose ball. I think he just rolled a little bit on his knee. Yeah. 2 players going after that loose ball right there.
5:44, 16-10 Dunbar. Fluker. Good-looking fresh. A lot of good-looking freshmen on this Scott County team. They start 3 freshmen. Fluker back to Cooper Robb. Robb angles right side, gives it in the corner to Fluker. Robb goes in on Lewis to the basket, hanging and won't go. There's Darius Williams getting a hand on it. Robb back in there diving on the floor, and then Robb is going to be tied up, and the possession area will give it to Dunbar. Dunbar up 16-10. Oh, now they're saying that it should be Scott County ball. They must not have changed it.
Yeah, they didn't change it on this one down here.
Okay, now they change it back to Scott County.
Nice job by the officials.
Cooper Watts will come back in, and Dameron out for Billy Hicks and Scott County. 5:20 in the first half.
Watts has got 2 fouls on him.
Robb, you get a good look at Robb there. Comes over to Watts. Back to Michael Marino. Covington way out top. Over to Robb. Covington hands it to Robb. Loop it down to Marino. Marino off glass, rolls off, tapped around, and let's see what they say here. It's going to be Dontel Brown scooping it up. Boy, Brown did a nice job, Donnie, getting that ball before it went out of bounds.
Yep.
Dontel Brown came to play tonight. Down low, Brown hanging, won't go, grabs it again, put it up. Yes! Dontel Brown has been the X factor. He's got 9 points. 18-10, the lead is 8.
Wow.
Robb's going to be grabbed there by Brown, Jordan Brown. Look at the foul situation. Scott County with 14 fouls and Dunbar 3 team fouls. So neither team really close to the bonus at this point with 4:40 to go in the first half.
Gary. Both teams spending a lot of energy right now, too. It's going to be interesting in the second half. See conditioning plays a great part.
Marino from 15, rattles out, tapped up, Watts. Marino back in the hands, picked up by Watts, and he is going to be fouled. And I see two players were there. Jordan Lewis was there, and Darius Williams was there, and I think they called Williams. Because I enjoyed watching Jordan Lewis when I looked at the official and said, no, it wasn't me.
Wasn't me. I didn't do anything. I was standing right there. They always do that. I didn't touch him.
No, it wasn't me, Ref.
Wasn't me.
No good there for Cooper Watts, a 6'4 junior. He averaged nearly a double-double this year. Let me get that headset fixed there for you. Get that. (18-11).
Got it. There we go.
Darius Williams, and won't go back to the rim. Michael Marino rips it off. Marino gives it to Cooper Robb. People knew what we did off the air, Coach. Right. Marino.
Nice pass.
Robb spinning, goes in, throws it up the board. Dontel Brown, and there was some contact there, and Cooper Robb's kind of wondering with a foul. Here's Williams to the basket, put it up and in.
Nice move.
7 for Darius, Mr. Basketball finalist. Isn't that interesting, this region? You got Hollingsworth, the regional player of the year, but yet Tisdale of Henry Clay and Darius are the Mr. Basketball finalists. Three-pointer out top, won't go for long.
Another rebound by Brown.
You know, I like that, though. I like that Bryce Long just came in after Billy took him out and let one rip out there. That tells me he's a confident young man for a freshman. He'll start knocking those down, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
20-11.
Maybe slow down here a little bit, take a breath, and just kind of enjoy the lead. Make Scott County come out after them.
Well, Donnie, that 9-point lead represents the largest lead that they've had tonight in this game.
And they're going to go man, just a match.
32% shooting for Dunbar and just 21% shooting by Scott County. Here with 3 minutes to go before halftime. 20-11. Kelly goes to Clark, back to Lewis, over to Williams fakes, and Jordan, as he was working off right, drove in and traveled with it. And the official,
he's going to tell him about that.
Yeah, he wants to talk to Cooper Watts. Cooper did. He definitely said something to Darius as he drove by, and I don't think Darius liked it. I don't think the official liked it. Now Michael Marino's going to talk to the official.
Got a timeout?
Yep, timeout. 2:54.
Scott County, a 30-second timeout.
To go. We'll be back here on PrepSpin. 20-11. Dunbar leading Scott County here at the Level 3 Championship on PrepSpin, the White Greer Maggard Game of the Week.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
Whitaker Bank supports 496 Kentucky schools.
Over 282,000 students benefit from Whitaker Bank's Kentucky education initiatives.
Whitaker Bank has contributed almost $441,000 to education programs for the advancement of Kentucky's youth.
We share your passion, Kentucky.
Love the bank that loves you back.
Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
Yeah. Gary Ball with Donnie Atkins back here, 2:54 to go in the first half. Dunbar and Scott County, and the Bulldogs of Scott Chalk lead by 9 over this Kitty Corps team, Scott County, and there's a turnover. When I say Kitty Corps, it's in respect. I got so many freshmen they started. It's a Kitty Corps, but they're very good freshmen. Spinning, Brown won't go. Cooper Watts with the nice rebound.
Made a nice move, just didn't finish for Brown underneath.
Was a tremendous move. Cardinals. Watts saying, why are you throwing it to me there? Cooper. Glenn Covington. Over to Long. Over to Robb. Launches the three.
Nope.
Got it!
Got it.
What a shot by.
It looked like it was going to be short all the way.
Man, that was nothing but net. That was string music here in Richmond.
And now they go back playing the zone.
6-point lead now for Dunbar, but that 9-point lead was cut by that Robb three-pointer. The sophomore averaging 12 points, 6 rebounds. Cooper Robb.
Had Brown down inside there when the ball went to the wing.
Cooper can't be too bad, as Jeff, his uncle Jeff went to high school with me at Boone County. It's always a Boone County connection in there, Donnie.
Somewhere.
Somewhere. 20-14, minute 39 here in the first half. Lewis spinning like a top. Watch there, but he loses it. Now Lewis on the floor, and Rob there hustling, and we're going to have a
Dunbar
jump ball, and it will be Bulldogs basketball. Back to that move by Dontel Brown. I've seen Dunbar numerous times this year. You have too, Donnie, out watching high school basketball. Fayette County's athletic director. I tell you what, that's one of the better moves he's made this year, but like you said, he's got to finish that.
Yep. He's got the ball down inside. He's not really, he's just, his shot's not.
Lewis talking to Mr. Pouncey, one of the officials, and now Chalk gets in on it. Lewis wasn't happy about something. Maybe it was all the scrum going on there, the contact.
Yeah.
Minute 31, 2014. Gary Ball, Coach Donnie Atkins, Darren Douglas, sideline reporter, and William Warfield, the king of stream. There's Hollingsworth floater, and it's in. He will get the soup, and he'll take the sandwich.
Good to see him come back in. Still moving a little gingerly on that leg, Gary, but I tell you what, that wasn't a bad move.
It was an awesome move. And you know what? He came in under the radar, I call him. That's that guy checks in under the radar. You and I don't know he's in there, but he's back in the game.
Right there.
Tavion, what a three-point play. Just you come down here near Scott County, and Rob knocks down a big three, and then Tavion comes down, makes a three-point play the old-fashioned way. Rob stops, 18, and pops!
Two. That's a two.
5 now for, 6, check it. He hit a free throw as well. 6 for Cooper Rob. 23-16. Tavion to the basket again. Put it in. That was a tougher shot than it looked, folks. Tavion had a lot of duress on him. Marino stopping floater from 10. No. Rebounded by Dontel Brown. Leads it out to Hollingsworth. 25-16. That 9-point lead. Hollingsworth hits the floor. Goes down hard, and Marino's going to help him up. Tavion thought the ball was knocked out by Scott County, but it went off of him, and we're going to have some Vince Clark maintenance going on. He's going to tie his shoe. 41.9 seconds here.
Tavion gets the ball right there. That's where he, as a junior, he's got to learn. Next year, he's got to learn. He's got to pull up, shoot that little short jumper right there.
Marino. Scott County, a high-scoring octane machine, high octane. Coach, they got 16 points here with 30 seconds left before halftime. Rob, that's a compliment to Dunbar's defense.
Yep.
Rob down to 21 seconds. Bryce Long, three-pointer off the right side of the backboard.
Plenty of time.
Picked up by Tavion with 14 seconds. Dontel Brown sets a big. Billy Hicks wanted everybody to hustle back. 8 seconds. 25-16, Dunbar by 9.
They're going to the zone.
Hollingsworth gives it over to Darius Williams, a long three, no good, back of the rim. We head to the locker rooms for halftime, and the score is Paul Lawrence Dunbar 25 and Scott County 16. We'll come back with halftime and give you some numbers from this ball game. Big numbers right now. Darius Williams and Dontel Brown have 18 of the Dunbar 25 points, and Hollingsworth has the remaining 7 and 6 for Cooper Robb. He leads the Scott County attack. Marino has 4. They're still doing a great job with Michael Marino. We'll step out and we'll come back with more here on PrepSpin, the White Greer Maggard Game of the Week.
White Greer and Maggard, where a beautiful smile is just the beginning.
Hi, I'm Lee, and I'm happy with my smile.
And I'm Other Lee, and I ain't happy with my smile.
I went to White, Greer, and Maggard, and they fixed my smile for me.
And I never smile, and that's why I'm having some alone time here at dinner.
I love that I can go to White, Greer, and Maggard with all my questions.
And I love that I don't have to brush my teeth at night.
Don't be like this, me. Go to White, Greer, and Maggard for a picture-perfect smile.
It may not require a textbook, but it's filled with valuable lessons. It may not take place in a classroom, but it's an ideal environment for learning. It may not involve a diploma, but it can help prepare Kentucky's young people for life. It's high school sports. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students that participate in high school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think again. Better yet, think about attending a high school sporting event in your community. You'll be amazed by what you see. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Kentucky High School Athletic Association and the Kentucky High School Athletic Directors Association.
Back at Alumni Coliseum, Gary Ball with Donnie Atkins. We're at halftime, Coach, and looking at some numbers. The shooting's not been fantastic by either ball club, but it looked like Dunbar settled in a little bit, shooting 45% in the second quarter, but just 35% for the first half.
Well, Gary, it comes down to points in the paint. Dunbar's done a nice job on the rebounds, getting putbacks and sticking it in. They got 16 points in the paint, where Scott County got 6.
Right.
So that's the whole thing in the first half.
Exactly, Donnie. And looking at the rebounding, 12 rebounds for Scott County, but 22 total rebounds. That's the difference. Dontel Brown, 8 rebounds in the first half. He nearly had a double-double in that first half, Donnie. And he also had, for rebounding, he had 3 offensive rebounds, 2 for Hollingsworth. So total points, Darius Williams, Dontel Brown with 9, and Hollingsworth with 7 points. And looking at Scott County, Cooper Robb with 6 points. Also had a couple of assists. 4 points for Michael Marino. He also had 5 rebounds for the big fella. 3 block shots for Michael Marino. Cooper Watts held to 3 points. Dameron played about 5 minutes. He didn't score. Glenn Covington knocked down the 1-3 for Scott County. Bryce Long, who averages on the season 12 points a game. He was 0 for 4 from the field, 0 for 3 from the three-point line. And he had some good looks, Coach. The one out of the baseline, it hit the side of the backboard on him and really couldn't get that one. But I tell you what, in my opinion, from what I've seen here watching this game courtside, Dontel Brown has really asserted himself with 9 points and 8 rebounds in the first half alone.
Well, Gary, right now he's the difference for Dunbar. You know Williams and Tavion are going to get theirs. It's just a matter of that third person, point guard, or Brown inside. Somebody else is going to step forward tonight. Tonight it's Brown. He's done an excellent job with those rebounds, and then when he gets the ball in the offensive end, he's attacking the basket. Either going to draw the foul and get to the foul line, or he's going to make a nice little layup, which he has a couple of times.
You coached in this game. You coached in the state championship. You won a state championship. What is Billy Hicks telling his Cardinals right now, and what is Scott Chalk talking to his Dunbar Bulldogs about?
Well, no, Billy's going to have to make up his mind. One of two things. He's going to have to sit back in that zone and just say, hey, this is our game plan. We're going to stick it, or I'm going to have to come out and try to get you man-to-man and get after you and make some steals and maybe get some turnovers and get you rushing some shots to get rebounds and go down and score. Coach Chalk, on the other hand, he's going to say, okay, if you're going to come out, we're going to go back to our regular offense, and you guys know you can beat them one-on-one, so take them and let's get to the hole. Don't charge, make good shot selection, and be smart with it.
And you certainly got some guys that can take it to the basket for Scott Chalk. Tavion Hollingsworth,
yes.
Darius Williams, Jordan Lewis, and Dontel Brown playing really strong here.
Well, what happens is when somebody goes and helps, there's Dontel right inside for the little dish and the dump, to get that basket right inside. He's done a great job tonight.
Well, Coach, I know you're working this first half. Lee DeForest will do work the second half. Great working with you in this regional tournament. And I understand you're going to retire in July. Is that right?
We're talking about it.
I got you.
We're talking about it. But Gary, it's
nothing official.
No, not yet. But there will be a new athletic director, full-time athletic director of Fayette County Schools, and Robbie Sayer is going to take over from my position, and I'm going to.
Former football coach.
Yes, he was the head coach at Lafayette. Robbie, as a matter of fact, was a student of mine at Tates Creek a long time ago, many years ago. Robbie was an assistant football coach at Tates Creek, came over to Lafayette when Mike Harmon came to Lafayette as his assistant, and took over when Mike went back to Tates Creek. Robbie became the head coach, and then Robbie went on to be a assistant principal at Lafayette, and now is in administration in Fayette County Schools. So he will be the new athletic director probably July 1.
We are at halftime, and Donnie Atkins taking us through the first half, leading us through the second. And Coach, great work as always. And like I said, there's a lot of folks in this state that try to do the right things for high school kids, and you're definitely top of that list for me with what you do. With not only when you coach the state champion, you also do the scoreboard show. That is something near and dear to me because Lewis and I did that show for three seasons, and you're doing that now. Over 40 radio stations with Rick. You've been to Fayette County Public School Athletic Director for the last several years. And 9 years. Yeah, more than several. but Coach, and anytime I've needed something, you've always been nice and hospitable. And I appreciate everything that you do for us
thank you, Gary.
as well.
And William putting this together with PrepSpin, and you with him, I tell you what, it's not just going to be good. It's just going to get better, just because of what you all are doing, and people are going to embrace it and take it and do great things with it.
Well, we appreciate it, Coach, and thank you for. I know you've got some duties you've got to attend to, and especially if Dunbar should win this region.
Well,
I mean, that would be even more duties for Don Atkins.
If that happens, then we'll go over and we'll sit at Dunbar tomorrow and just talk about plans that Coach Chalk wants to make through the state tournament, what he wants to do.
Right.
Just, if we can help at all, we'll be there right there to help him.
Absolutely.
So.
Well, keep up the good work. And
all right, Gary,
tell my buddy Rick Shaw, hey.
I'll do it. Friday night, we're looking forward to another good show.
Right, you only got a couple more this season, don't you?
Yeah, we got Friday night, and then the Friday night of boys state tournament, and then we'll do a wrap-up show on the 25th.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Coach Atkins.
Enjoy
That's Donnie Atkins. He does a great job with Fayette County Public Schools, and also does a great job as a commentator too. And I really appreciate everything he does. We will step out and come back with second half action after this timeout. That's right. Welcome back, Gary Ball with Coach Lee DeForest on the second half. And Coach knows that microphone better than anybody. Thank you, Coach, clearing that thing up in a hurry there. Well, Scott County, you sat courtside and watched the whole first half. Scott County down 9, and what do you think Billy Hicks told his Cardinals in the locker room?
They have to keep doing what they've been doing on defense. Covington's done a fantastic job over here in the zone trying to stop Williams. It's a tough task. I remember the last time they played, it's a 51-81 decision for Dunbar. And this you have to have a low-scoring game if you're playing Dunbar and you're a Scott County fan. So you're not too upset about it. You'd like to see some more shots go in. I know Long's got to get going. Rob's hit a couple shots for him, but somebody else from Scott County's got to get some shots for him. But they're doing a good job. They're playing a zone. They're handling the press a little bit. If you're a Dunbar fan, they're going to come out and press here.
The guy I think that came in, and you can disagree if you want to, Coach, but I think Dunbar came into this game saying there's one guy that we're not going to let just absolutely destroy us, and that's Michael Marino. They've held him to 4 points in the first half. He does have 5 rebounds and 3 blocks. I mean, the kid's going to get rebounds and block shot, but the fact they've held him to 4 points in this tournament, he is averaging about 16 a game, and right now he's really got to get going the second half to be anywhere near that. I think if they continue their work on him, they're going to have a really good shot talking about Dunbar winning this 11th region, which is considered this year the toughest region in the state of Kentucky.
Yeah, and he's one of their keys. Their rebounding guy there inside. Marino's really done a good job in this tournament of really controlling the glass, but it's really tough against Dunbar. I mean, Brown is he's a strong force in there for him, and Marino is a very talented, very strong freshman, okay?
Yeah.
And that's really the difference. He's going to be a great player, no doubt, but he's having a tough time scoring inside, and just the speed of Dunbar. I mean, you can watch him on tape. I'm sitting over here watching the game, and, Hollingsworth is almost so fast, he looks slow out there. I mean, he just changes the game when he gets going in transition. He doesn't even look like he's moving fast. He's just so smooth with the basketball.
What about his injury, you think? I mean, he came back in and looked like he was moving pretty good on that ankle that he turned a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know if that played any kind of a factor because, like you said, he came back in, and I think he scored 4 or 5 points there in the second half in transition, cutting and moving, looked to be pretty good.
He really did, and you look at Scott County, they have started 3 freshmen pretty much all season. So Coach Hicks, a 28-5 season, and what a lot of people in Georgetown felt it might be a rebuilding season. I mean, they weren't really ranked or highly regarded at all in the preseason, not like this Dunbar team, because everybody in the state knew what Dunbar had coming back. They had Darius Williams and Tavion Hollingsworth and Jordan Lewis, 3 of the best players in the Commonwealth, and those 3 have certainly stepped up. They had 50 of their 60 points the other night in their semifinal win, so those guys can play.
Yeah, and like you said, nobody really knew what Scott County had, but as you follow them over the season, Billy Hicks always does a great job with his team, shows how you don't win 900 games by accident. That's why before the game we were talking for a moment, talked about matchups. Scott County's known for playing man-to-man, but they came out in that matchup 1-2-2 zone, and they had Covington doing a good job over here on the right wing. So let's see if they move Williams around a little bit. He started off trying to go one-on-one, and Covington's as quick as they come, and did a good job of containing him on the right wing. So let's see if they move him around a little bit, see if they can do something to slow down Brown, who's been a powerhouse for him inside rebounding and putting it back.
Who do you see stepping up for the Cardinals and maybe pulling out this victory out of the jaws of defeat here? And they're going to need a good second half, because I'm telling you, Dunbar generally is a better second half team than our first half.
They are. I think Scott County, Long stepped up. He's got to make shots here in the second half from the perimeter. But Rob, he got it going a little bit in rhythm shots. You upset that 3 and that little spin move he made at the top of the key. I think he could do it for him. But you've got to depend on your talent when you need it the most. And I'm interested to see what Marino is able to do here. Speaking of him, he's right here in front of us, seeing what he can do inside for him.
Marino will start with Rob, Cooper Watts, Glenn Covington, and Bryce Long. So the same 5 that started the game. Marino's got it to the basket. Left hand won't go, and foul called. It's going to be 2 shots for Marino. Dontel Brown, they say, moved at the last moment. It will be a foul on Dontel Brown, and just from looking at his facial expressions, he didn't like the call. But whoever does like a call when you get a foul called on you, I think Coach Atkins brought that up in the first half.
Yeah, that nobody does. But that's a great, he's got to make his free throws, but that's a great sign for Scott County, able to get Marino involved on the first possession, getting him to the free throw line. Maybe he can knock this one in, cut this lead down a little bit.
Marino 7 of 9 from the line, and he made that second one 78%. from the free throw line in this tournament. 25-17. Dunbar lead is 8 now. Lewis going to Tavion. Hollingsworth, little jumper. Got it! 9 for Hollingsworth, so here's Marino to the basket, throws it up and draws another foul. And Dontel Brown pointing to himself. If that goes on him, that'll be his second. 2 quick fouls here.
Yeah, nice take there by Marino. Gets the pressure. Dunbar's double teaming Rob here in the backcourt. He's been able to throw ahead. And Marino is, even though he's a post player, he's pretty good with the basketball.
And he's pretty good at free throws too, as he knocks that one down. Michael Marino, a 6'6" freshman. Got them both. Throws look nice. And we have a 27-19 ball game. Dunbar by 8 with 7:29 in the third. Here's Darius Williams, a 3, and that's an air ball. And Tavion tries to save it, picked up by Rob. He gives to Cooper Watts, leads out Marino. Covington out in front of him, gets it to him, won't go there. There's Marino to finish on the right side. It's almost like Covington threw him a pass there. Scott Chalk wants a quick timeout because it has been a 5-0 run here by the Cardinals of Scott County.
Yeah, they made a quick run, and you asked before the half started who's going to have to step up for him, and we both said, Moreno is going to, obviously the most talented player on Scott County, and he's done that. He's answered the bell. He's got to the rim twice, got fouled, and then there just following up a quick shot by Covington.
He had 4 points in the first half, Michael Moreno. He's got 5 points in the first 47 seconds, and he has 6 rebounds. So the young man, if you don't think he can score, he's got 5 points in less than a minute.
And he's doing it, sort of, Dunbar's sort of creating the offense right now. They're double teaming Rob, leaving him open in the middle of the floor, and he's been able to drive to the basket and get fouled. If Dunbar decides not to do that, Dunbar's setting the pace here. They can decide what they want to do. If they don't want to press anymore and they want to sit back, they can play that zone they played. They can play you man-to-man. It's up to them.
Justin Kelly has come in for Dunbar. Tavion Hollingsworth to Lewis. Dontel Brown, same 5 that started. Here's Tavion, baseline jumper, no. Rebounded by Cooper Rob. And we're going to have a foul called as Rob reached it into front court.
It's interesting, the game right here. You got these young players, these freshmen. They're sort of playing with house money, right? They know they've got a shot at it no matter what happens a couple of years from now. The seniors got to get under control here, control themselves, play with pace, but keep poised. They got to stay poised. I think that's what coach is telling them right there. Stay under control out here.
Justin Kelly, the great athlete, has Michael Marino giving up and Kelly gets the steal. Great play by Kelly. Hollingsworth working in on Watts to the basket, good. Tavion Hollingsworth, there was some contact there after the shot was put in, 29-21. How many times have we seen Hollingsworth make a shot when Dunbar had to get a shot? He makes
got the steal, had to get the shot, took it up on himself.
Rob to Cooper Watts. Cooper looking for Bryce Long, bounces to him. Long tries to dump it to Marino, but he threw it right to Jordan Brown, but it goes out, and I think last touch by Dunbar, at least from my angle. I tell you what, we've had a pretty good seat at this regional tournament, haven't we, Coach?
Oh, this has been amazing seeing these guys as hard as they play and compete. Long has got to go up with that. There's no way you're going to be able to make 2 interior passes in a row against Dunbar.
Rob gets it into Michael Marino. Back to left side. Here's Rob, and he rattles it in. Cooper Rob. He now has 8 points, 29-23. Scott County and Dunbar, 11th Region Championship. 11th Region will play a week from Wednesday night, the 16th, 8:30, 8:15 thereabouts, at Rupp Arena against the 12th Region. Their final tonight was Southwestern and Mercer County. Lewis down the lane, good loop pass to Brown, and the finish.
Nice take by Lewis, avoided the charge, hit Brown. They're going to have to do more of that against the zone. Get that slice in there, attack the rim.
Hey, Mr. 12th Region, who you like in that Southwestern Mercer game? Here's Rob to Marino. Marino throws it high and won't go off the rim, but he'll go to the line and shoot a couple. Michael Marino's making a living at the charity stripe in the first 2.5 minutes of this quarter.
Yeah, he's hard to stop in there, and we knew that going in, but he's really asserted himself in the paint. Dunbar's going to have to do a better job of controlling him. And your question about Southwestern and Mercer, I think
you kind of alluded it there, but now you're getting back to it. So
you had a good flow going. Mercer is the most talented team in the region, but Southwestern plays well, coached well by Steve Rutt.
Yeah.
I think if Southwestern's able to, it's going to be for Southwestern. Can they knock down the outside shot? If they do, they can beat Mercer. If Mercer plays their best, nobody in our region could beat them.
Marino, he already has 11 points, 5 of 6 at the line, Coach DeForest.
Really stepped it up for him. We knew somebody from Scott had to,
right,
and it's been him so far.
Tavion as Williams hits the floor. Hollingsworth hangs, no. There's Kelly getting a handle on it, and then Kelly, I think, is going to be fouled. Glenn Covington, maybe?
Yeah, that's a battle in there. Williams, you saw grabbing his face. Actually, it was Long who accidentally punched him there in the face on his cut.
So Covington picked up his second foul, only the first team foul against Scott County, whereas Dunbar's committed 14 fouls already, Coach, in the first 3 minutes of this third quarter. That could become a factor. Williams hanging, in and out, sticks it back, no. Tapped up, no. And then Justin Kelly's going to hustle after it. That's that 50-50 ball there by Justin Kelly.
And that's 2 he's gotten
yes,
in the last 30 seconds.
He is just a terrific athlete.
He is, and that's a huge possession because now you're still up 6. If Scott County gets the basketball, they can cut into your lead, but you get the ball back, another chance to extend your lead.
Lewis back to Tavion, high arcing free throw line won't go. Cooper Watts rips it out of there. Here comes Rob. A lot of Coopers on this Scott County team. This is Rob, dumps it back, throws it to Kelly. I don't know where he was going with that. Billy Hicks upset. We get a chagrin on his face. Here's Hollingsworth, and won't go. They're going to say put it out of bounds at the shot. The foul came before that shot.
That's interesting. He looked like he was going up, but he's asking the official, would you kind of watch it when I shoot?
Well, that's the wrong one to ask because it was the other guy that called the foul.
Yeah.
He's asking the wrong official.
Right.
Tavion, you got to get your 3 officials right there. Williams hands back to Tavion. Back to Justin Kelly. Bounces down low. Lewis knocked away. Picked back up by Kelly. There's Kelly again. He's everywhere.
He's everywhere. He's coming up with the loose balls here when they need him.
Folks that watch Dunbar play, they know Justin Kelly, what a great athlete he is, because he's out of the corner, and that 3's off the mark. Rebounded because he's one of the best soccer players in the state. So you know he's got great footwork.
Yeah, he's been great defensively. He's been great with just his hustle play, coming up with those loose balls here. Look at Rob.
Reverse! What a move by Cooper. Robbie reversed it up and in. High above the basket, 31-27. Rob cuts it to 4. Closest Scott County's been in a long time.
Rob and Moreno.
Tavion over to Justin Kelly. Looking, and here's going to be a push. Foul's going to be called on Bryce Long. The dog pound is off to our left here, and the dog pound is like the Cleveland Brown. It's loud and proud this evening.
Yeah, they're excited. Like you said, somebody from Scott had to step up. It's been Moreno and Long, their 2 best scorers. Got to keep it going. You can't be tired right now.
Montel Brown back to Tavion Lewis. Over now to Lewis from Tavion Hollingsworth. That's Darius Williams working on Michael Marino. That's an interesting matchup right there. There's Kelly. Kelly back to Tavion Hollingsworth. 3:15 to go. Third period, 31-27. Dunbar by 4. They've led by as much as 9. And there's Williams, heads up block by Marino. Picks it up, ball picked up, coming out of there with it, Rob. Cooper Rob hanging on Dontel Brown, missed it. Rebounded though, and Dameron throws it right to Lewis. Here comes Lewis. I think the Scott County fans thought he was pushed. Lewis kicks it over to Tavion. He goes, hangs, and throws it up, and fouled by Dameron. That'll be the first foul on Dameron.
Yeah, that's the problem. No matter what Scott County does, that's the problem they've had. Covington quick enough to stay with one of the big 3. He can guard Lewis. He can guard Hollingsworth. Williams. He can keep them in front of him enough. But the problem is when he's not the man in the zone guard matched up to Hollingsworth, it's a tough matchup.
Tavion Hollingsworth. Let's check it out here for Tavion Hollingsworth. 12 points in the ball game now. 11 for Brown.
A miss there by Hollingsworth.
2:40 to go in the third quarter. 32-27. Rob working on Tavion, hands it to Dameron, lines it up, and it's off the front of the iron, no good. Covington taps it up. Marino gets a hand on it. Montel Brown was hustling. Here comes, who else? Darius Williams out of there with it. 32-27, and we're going to have a foul as taking the ball to the basket was Darius Williams, and a foul called.
And that was against the zone, but who was on that side that time? That was Moreno. Covington was on the left side. So I think by picking out, even though they're in zone, you get to determine the matchups on offense, and they're trying to drive their matchup.
You know, Watson, Dameron are interchangeable, and they look so much alike, it's hard to tell them apart, really, except for the numbers on their jersey. It's like they're clones or something over there at Scott County. 32-27. Darius Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Backdoor. Hollingsworth plays it up, and then great pass by Darius. Well, Hollingsworth really coming alive here in the second half. He's got 14. And also 6 rebounds. He leads everybody. 34-27. Low-scoring affair here. To the basket, laying it up and in. There's that clone. That time it's Watts.
Strong move by Watts. I think you'll notice Dameron, though, has a little bit more perimeter game than Watts. Watts is much more active defensively inside.
But they're almost the exact same size.
They are.
Marino, 34-29. Boy, I tell you what, a three-pointer here by Scott County.
What a
this
game.
thing would get really tight. I mean, and they got the guys down low to Watts, backing in on Brown, back to Long. Long slices in, tries to bank in that free throw. I want Marino badly. Marino gets a hand on it. Marino, and he's going to hand it to Long, and knocks down a three. Bryce Long, the freshman, who prior to that couldn't buy, he was 0 for 6, now he's 1 for 7, and that's what I was talking about.
You know what's more impressive than the made shot was the presence of mind by Moreno to find him. He didn't pant. He got the rebound. A lot of guys would have shot it. He found him.
More impressive than that, the kid's a freshman.
These guys aren't freshmen now, Gary. They're playing on the biggest stage. They've shown they can play out here in the regional.
They're really
won. I mean, they're not freshmen.
They're really like sophomores now, aren't they?
They are. They're like sophomores, and their talent makes them a little bit. You know, I've had plenty of freshmen and sophomores, even seniors on teams that aren't as good as Moreno, Covington, or Rob.
34-32, 33% shooting by Dunbar, just 34% by Scott County. So both teams not shooting it well, but what a great ball game. 34-32, 22 seconds here in the third quarter in front of, what a great crowd in here, Coach.
It's exciting. You see Covington over there on the right elbow.
Kind of shabbling over toward
Darius.
I
think it's going to be dribble handoff.
Lewis telling Darius to move down a little bit closer. Down to 6 seconds. Lewis over to Williams, down to 3. Williams works on Covington. Backs up and short on the long three-pointer from the Dunbar bench. We head to the final quarter. That quarter belonged to Scott County.
That did. They came out. They needed, come out down 9. They, as freshmen, like you said, it would have been very easy for them to lay down. But as you see, they scored 16 points that quarter, Gary, and it just tells you about the poise, the confidence that even though you said, we keep saying these are freshmen, they don't play like that. They come out, they're ready to win this game in the fourth quarter. The pressure now, I think, shifts, to Dunbar. They won by 30 in this last matchup. They know that. Everybody has an expectation of the big three, and they're having to deal with that. The pressure, I think, shifts to them, even though they're up 2 points here in the fourth.
I agree. We'll step out and tell you some more statistics when we come back. 34-32 is the big number, though. Dunbar on top.
At Raising Cane's, we believe in one love. But creating one love is no simple task. Everything has to be served hot and fresh, not just hot. We use only 100% premium chicken tenderloins for a 0% chance of leftovers. We insist on the best ingredients for our fries, like potatoes. And, well, we can keep talking quality, or you can just eat it. Raising Cane's, one love.
Visit us today at one of our 6
Justin Kelly right in front of Coach Lee DeForest and I puts the ball in play to start the final quarter. What a fast-moving 11th Region Championship, Coach Lee DeForest.
Yeah, this is played really well. Officials have let them play.
Oh, the officials have done a fantastic job. I don't even know they're out there.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do, though, with the zone Scott County's playing. Dunbar has been content. I've seen them for stretches almost 45 seconds at a time where they just hold the basketball out at the top. So that's contributed to lack of whistles.
Lewis out top of that 3-2 zone that they put in just for this Dunbar team. They put in a new 3-2 zone. Here's Tavion baseline. Got it.
Tough.
Tavion Hollingsworth, 16 for the junior.
That's a tough shot. And now you see Dunbar switching up, and Dunbar goes zone.
7:12 to play, and a steal by Dontel Brown. So here comes Dunbar, 4-point lead, and the basketball in their black. Scott County in the white with the red.
And Scott looks like they're trying to match up now, going man-to-man. That's going to be tough.
Bounce to Tavion Hollingsworth. Down low, Kelly lost a handle on it and picked Williams there, and it might have been kicked out by Scott County. I understand they're voting on a new superintendent at the Scott County School Board tonight. Don't know why you'd pick a new superintendent on the night of your high school team's playing in a regional championship, but then again,
you don't handle that schedule, do you?
I don't handle that schedule. I don't live in Scott County, so FYI. 6:51, Coach, here. 36-32. Low scoring affair, but both teams really battling. Williams, that shot won't go for Darius. Picked up Dontel Brown. He lost a handle on it. And then with the left hand, laid up and in. Lewis went down hard. He's shaking up a little bit. Quickly the other way. Here goes Long, and he scoops it up and in for his 6th point. So one team answers the other one. What a great shot by Lewis, and then coming down the freshman Long.
Presence of mind again by the freshman to get the ball out and go early.
Tavion Hollingsworth, and it rolls off. Stuck back, no, by Darius. Battle for it, Michael Marino, and they're going to call a foul. Lewis wanted a jump ball, but he's not going to get the call. It's going to be a foul on Jordan Lewis, and it'll be his 2nd, the team's 5th. Both teams with 5 team fouls right now.
This has been a great game of runs, hasn't it? Who's been stepping up?
You would think the Dog Pound has done some officiating in their days or something. I mean, they're back there telling us every call is.
I think it's what you said earlier. Nobody's seen a call they like.
38-34. Rob comes over now to Covington. In the middle, Marino knocked away. Great hands. But Tavion couldn't get the dribble out there. They would have had numbers, Coach. They would have had a 3-on-2. Tavion, and he's going to be grabbed there by Cooper Robb. That will be the 6th team foul against the Cardinals. So the next foul by Scott County will be the bonus situation for Paul Arntz Dunbar.
Yeah, and you saw that turnover. If you want to go into the high post to Moreno, he's been your man this half, but you can't force it. That's been the problem the last 2 turnovers there.
That's exactly right, Coach. Hollingsworth. There's going baseline. Won't go. What a great Marino rebound, and he now has rebound. He has 9 of them, so he's a rebound away from a double-double. He's a double-double machine. Marino almost got caught up there, didn't he, Coach?
He did. Hollingsworth makes life so tough out here. He's the fastest guy on the floor, and he's long.
There's Williams. Marino's back, and they battle for it, and boy, Marino definitely altered that shot.
Wow.
I thought for a minute he was going to block it, but he did enough physicality on Darius to alter the shot.
Yeah, and he didn't slap down. Yeah. He didn't slam him. He didn't foul him. He went up and challenged him.
What you're telling me is he didn't do what a freshman typically does.
That's right, exactly. But you see Hollingsworth again.
Lewis
create the turnover.
Goes in on Marino. Marino blocks it. Tavion still shaking up a little bit. Remember, he turned his ankle a little bit. Darius Williams, his senior superstar, comes over to talk to the junior superstar. I've covered Lexington City basketball for a long time, and not since the Darnell Burton, Cameron Mills days have I seen as talented as a tandem as these two, Hollingsworth and Williams. Would you agree with that, Coach?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, both of those guys, you see what they're bringing tonight. Even though Williams is having what you would call an off night for him, he's still been able to score the basketball. He's still been able to rebound and do other things. But I think the difference now in the last 2 minutes, I don't think it's a stretch to say this, but Hollingsworth's ability at the top of the zone, they've twice tried to go to Marino at the high post, and his hands are so quick and he's so long and athletic, he's able to get his hand on the basketball, and they've been able to turn steals into fouls and layups.
4:58 to go in the ball game, and I tell you, if people only knew what we talked about off the air and during.
It's highbrow stuff.
It really is. But anyway, hey, Coach, you got the Princeton offense Where can folks follow you on Twitter?
It's at Coach DeForest.
That's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. We're doing another one this summer with
I need you to help me getting my numbers up on the Scholastic Ball Report. We're up to almost 2,000, but I mean, not like Coach DeForest, who's got almost 5,000 followers on Twitter.
I've been in it since the beginning. That's probably.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, so that's probably why. You just probably started last week.
No, we started last year.
All right, there you go.
I'm being honest with you. Honesty's the best policy.
Oh, wow.
Here's almost a steal by Rob, picked up by Hollingsworth. 4:55 in the game. Hollingsworth trip to the basket and finger rolls off at the foul call. That would have gone. Had that gone, it would have counted.
Yeah, and it's so hard to get back in front of. You know, you want Rob to go for the steal, but you don't want him to get out of position, which he was able to do. And then it's so hard to step in front of Hollingsworth. I swear, he doesn't look like he's running very fast, but he's the fastest guy on the court.
That was the third foul, by the way, on Bryce Long to Scott County. His third foul, bonus situation. Hollingsworth, he was fouled in the act of shooting anyway. He'll shoot 2. Let's look at Tavion Hollingsworth's body of work. 17 points, 6 of 14 shooting, 6 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 assists. And he got them both. 40-34. Bulldogs have led by as many as 9. Here's a long pass taken by Long. Long's got to be careful. Dumps it over the right side. Hanging Dameron won't go. Rebounded by Hollingsworth. Clem Dameron saying, man, how did I not make that shot? Sort of a half hook shot, you know?
Yeah, that was tough.
Hollingsworth kicks it to Darius Williams. 4:34 in the game. Number 1 team in the state, Dunbar. And Scott County's been in the top 5 all year. Here's Hollingsworth, and he draws the foul. That's what he is probably better at than any player in the state of Kentucky, is when he wants to take it to the basket, he's either going to finish it or he's going to draw the foul and shoot a couple of free throws.
Yeah, his first step is fast as anybody's, and once he gets it on you, he's kind of shifty. He's long, and his ability to stay on the line where he's wanting to go, and you can't push him off that line, and he's strong enough to go up with it and get contact. And, yeah, his first step, when you see it in person, it's fast.
You can push him off that, but it's going to be a foul. And then he's going to make free throws like he is right now with 19 points, and he's 7 of 8 at the line. Looking to be 8 of 9, and he is 8 of 9 at the line. My goodness.
He's really been the difference in the game.
It's kick and play. 42-34. 4:18 to go. Scott County needs somebody to step up here. Marino's been the guy early, and he's right sidelines it up, and it rolls, kicks off of there, rebounded by Rob. He powers it up, goes back. Kelly there battling on the floor, and they're going to give it, I believe, to Scott County. Yep. Just say Kelly. It looked like Kelly might have gone over the back from our angle, but we got a pretty tough angle.
You know, Cooper Robb probably weighs about 140 pounds, but he's in there getting offensive rebounds, going inside with the big guys. These guys are playing as hard as they can.
Scott County 28-5 record. Dunbar 28-6. And Kelly. It's going to be a grab, I believe, on Covington as Justin Kelly stripped the ball out of there, and then Glenn Covington did not like that. That was right in front of Billy Hicks, and we got another chagrin from Coach Hicks. You know, he may have 950 wins on the season, on his career, but he's probably got about twice that many chagrins on
You know what I think he's got is 900 wins on his career and 0 locked calls.
Wait a minute now. I'm going to defend Billy. When you coach those sides, do you ever like a call?
No.
You ever say, great call against us, official? Great call against us here at West Jessamine. Come on. 3:57. I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, of course you should. I don't think I've ever said it either.
42-34. Cross the line, Cooper Robb hands it now to Bryce Long. 3:42. Dunbar, number 1 team in the state, looking to go to the Whitaker Bank HAA Boys Sweet 16, take on the 12th region a week from Wednesday at Rupp Arena. They play the second game that night about 8:15.
And look how packed. They're not letting the ball go to the high post.
Long. Now here's Covington. Off glass, no. There's Williams, and official right there saying last touch for Scott County. It's getting into a point right now that Dunbar is so good with the basketball that if it stays at just 8 or 9 points and gets down under 2 minutes, it's going to be pretty tough for Scott County, I think, to pull it out.
Well, like we spoke about last time we were here, it's tough for any team to turn Dunbar over with
these
the 3 guards, but they just took Lewis out, so they go a little bit slower maybe. But still, you got Hollingsworth.
Coach, they're working on Jordan over behind the bench there. The trainers are. Might be cramping up maybe.
Yeah, I think he got kneed down here, but Covington's as quick as you got.
Well,
look at that.
That can cause a cramp. And that shot won't go, and they got wide out, open out in front of him is Bryce Long, and the freshman lays it up and in.
Great defense by Covington. Great pass. They're not out of it yet.
Oh, no. If they can get it down to 3 or 4 points, they'll be in fine shape. It's 42-36, Dunbar. Bad pass picked off by Glenn Covington. Williams back. Covington has it knocked away by Tavion, and they're going to call a foul on Hollingsworth.
Yeah, that's probably the only bad play I've seen Hollingsworth make.
That's his first foul, but it will be a 2 free throw situation for Glenn Covington.
You know, you've got Covington going up, who's a lefty. He's going up on the right side. He's got to finish against probably, if not the best athlete on the floor, one of, in Darius Williams.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Williams is going to contest that.
Covington, and it rolls off there. Banged around. I thought it was going to go in. I saw a ball just like that when the that Midwest for northern Iowa, they took on Evansville, and the guy hit a shot at the buzzer. The red lights went on. It went way up above, came down and went in, and they go to the NCAA tournament. Of course, the bench just absolutely went berserk.
That's unbelievable.
Did you see that shot?
I didn't see that. I'm sure I will on SportsCenter. That's crazy.
Missed them both. Rebounded by Dontel Brown. Brown, who was a big factor early on, now has 11 points, 9 rebounds. He's 1 rebound away from a double-double. Dontel Brown.
Yeah, they're going into their motion here. They're going to be holding the basketball, passing it.
They're going to make Scott County foul. And Darius Williams hooked long, and they say that hook will cost you a foul. And well, that gets the eye of Scott Chalk. He's going to get back up in the ball game. Will be Jordan Brown, the senior. Out will be Darius Williams, and Scott Chalk is going to let him have it over there. Man, he's all up in Darius's grill.
Well, it was the turnover that they made, and then it was the hook. So it's 2 turnovers, back-to-back possessions when Coach Chalk is trying to run out the clock here.
2:20 to play, 42-36. Low-scoring game, but very competitive game as far as teams playing very hard, Coach. Covington loops it way over to Long. Long to Robb in the corner. Robb backing in. Back to Long, a long 3. In and out. And tapped around. Good hands there by Lewis, and Tavion standing his ground. And good thing Tavion didn't take off, because that ball, if he took off, that ball is going to be Scott County's. Kelly. You know the thing that people don't tell you, Justin Kelly's a good ball handler. Dontel Brown, and a rejection by Cooper Robb on Dontel Brown. There's Glenn Covington. He scoops rebounded by Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth with 1:34 to go in this ball game. Dunbar just a minute and a half away from going back to the state tournaments. It's been since the Cameron Mills days there at Dunbar, right?
Yeah, it has. It's been a long time, but Coach Chalk's done a great job here with his team. Nice take by Brown, didn't quite finish it. Cooper Robb with the great block, but he couldn't finish on the other end. So
I think the 3-2 that Scott County implemented for this game, though, has worked, because when they played on February 18th, Dunbar beat them 81-51.
Yeah, it's made a difference, no doubt. It's slowed the game down, but the problem is they're getting defensive stops. They just can't score on the other end, even in transition. Dunbar's so talented and long, they're hard to score against. You know, I mean, they've had a couple run-outs, Scott County has, but they've been unable to score in the half court.
Both free throws connected by the senior, Jordan Lewis. And he has 4 points in the ball game, six rebounds, 37 total rebounds. So 37-28 in the rebounding category, advantage Dunbar. That's going to be a reach by Lewis.
Oh, man, that's going to send
the Cards to the line.
Yeah.
But look at that rebounding, Coach. We haven't talked about this enough, but rebounding edge, 37-28, +9 rebounding edge for Dunbar.
Yeah, and a lot of that credit goes to their defense. I mean, they're forcing a lot of misses here by Scott County, especially here in the second half. And You know, we were talking a lot about Moreno early in the third. I think he's went on a little bit of a string where he hasn't really been able to get the basketball. I can remember shooting a baseline jump shot, but after that, I don't really remember him catching the basketball inside.
Timeout. 1:13 to play here. 11th Region Championship on the line. And we'll step out here and come back with more on PrepSpin after this timeout.
Hey, great party.
Oh, thanks. Here you go. One hamburger, medium well.
This is well done.
No. That's medium well.
What? Are you calling me a liar? This thing is practically burned.
That's it. You're not going to come to my house and tell me how to cook a hamburger.
You wouldn't do it there.
That'd be crazy.
So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
At Central Bank.
Gary Ball with Coach Lee DeForest, William Warfield, and Darren Douglas. We'll try to get some post-game interviews from Darren, our sideline reporter. Minute 13 here in the 11th Region Championship. Rob and in and out. There's Dontel Brown with that 10th rebound, that elusive double-double for Dontel Brown. I think without question, the X factor of this ball game, even though Tavion Hollingsworth has 20 points, has been Dontel Brown with his 11 points and 10 rebounds, a double-double.
Yeah, he's really stepped up for him when they needed him to. Done a great job on the boards, like you said. And, I mean, if you look at the difference in the game, it's only, what is it, a 7-point game. But here you go. Dunbar has 28 points in the paint, and you've got Scott County with 16 points. That's a 12-point difference, points in the paint.
75% free throw shooter, and he knocks it down. That's 12. That's a dozen for Dontel with those 10 rebounds on 4 of 9 shooting. He's 4 of 5 at the stripe. 5 of 6 at the strike. Those are 2 big free throws right there. That puts them up 9 with a minute 10 here in regulation. Long kicks it deep over in the corner. There's Fluker's shot, won't go. Rebounded by Darius Williams. And Dunbar is going to be only 60 seconds away from the state tournament. First time since '97. None of these kids were even born then. That was 19 years ago.
Yeah, they had the. That was my. I just graduated high school. I was in college, but that's tough for Scott. I know that Dunbar came out, played their A game. I mean, they came out and controlled it on the defensive end. You know, Scott County did the best job that they could, but when you have 3 talented juniors and seniors like Dunbar, it's really hard to overcome that. I mean, you know, you got some guys that are going to be great, but these guys are great right now.
Thanks to all the folks here at Eastern Kentucky University, Hugh Davis all week. Thanks to our sponsors, White, Greer, and Maggard. Dr. White, a super guy, did color with me in the district tournament. Raising Cane's Chicken, Whitaker Bank Shot, UK Sports Medicine, Central Bank, Bob Roberts Insurance right here in Richmond. Free throw missed there by Hollingsworth, but he's got another one. And then Scholastic Ball Report. Our team this week, West Jessamine is our team of the week. The West Jessamine baseball team, the 2015 state baseball champions. And Jody Hamlin's got another good baseball team coming back this year.
Yeah, what a great guy, too. I mean, you can't say enough good things about him. I've had a chance to talk to him several times in person.
10-point lead now. That's the largest Dunbar's enjoyed. Here's a steal by Lewis from behind. 47-37. Lewis into front court, and Marino's good freshman, a sophomore, and a junior in the starting lineup. They're all back next year. They'll learn from this, and they'll be back.
They'll learn
him. Well, Scott County, this young.
They'll be back. They're going to be a terror to deal with the next few years. The problem here, as we said in the second half, they haven't scored. They've scored 5 points here in the fourth quarter. And they had an opportunity when it was a 6-point game. Long missed a 3. They had 2 steals. They were unable to convert. Covington stepped up and missed 2 free throws. I mean, all of those points puts game pressure on Dunbar, but Dunbar, credit to them and their seniors.
Lewis knocked it down at the line. It's 48-37 Dunbar. Here comes Rob, and he is going to be fouled. I just call him Tavion because he's that good. Like they just call LeBron, you know who he is? I just say Tavion, and everybody in the state knows who he is because foul's going to go on Tavion. Hollingsworth. You know when you're so good, they just call you like LeBron, one of the best players in the state, and he's going to lead his ball club with 21 points, Dunbar, to the state KHSAA Sweet 16 next week, Whitaker Bank.
Yeah, and the big scoring for Dunbar had been 27 points a game with Williams. He struggled a little bit tonight. When I say struggled, what did he end up with? He had 9 points, still played well. But Hollingsworth, when they needed him the most in a contested game, this will end up being, what, a 12, 13-point game. This was a 6-point game with about 4 minutes to go.
Rob got the free throw, and he's going to foul with 37 seconds, and that will send Lewis up there to the free throw line. And, yeah, Hollingsworth, 21 points, 9 of 11 free throw shooting, 6 of 15 from the field. He is 1 rebound away from a double-double, Tavion.
It's pretty good for a guard, isn't it?
Is he a guard?
I don't know. I think we talked about it before.
I think he's a 2. I think he's a 3. I think he's a 4.
He's a player.
Don't know if he's a 5, but
he's just a player. I mean, I think people get caught up in numbers, but in high school, it's so different. He's a player, okay? And even though he's a guard, he's one of the best rebounding guards because of his length and athleticism. I've seen him, I don't know how many times. We talked about it last time we did this game together. He would miss his first shot, get the rebound, put it in, get fouled.
Lewis knocked down the free throws, 50-39. Dunbar. Looks like they're going to ride this crest, this 11th region title. There goes Hollingsworth. Scott Chalk gives him a good slap and good handshake. Marquise Estel. Marquise still holds the highest field goal percentage in UK basketball history. Did you know that?
Well, you gave me that quiz. I don't want to cheat, but I thought it was a little higher. But I mean, when it makes sense after 4 years, I mean that's a really unbelievable percentage he shot.
Former Madison Central standout. He's right back home here at the 11th region. 33 seconds, and Rob throws it up to the basket, and that rolls out of there for Caleb Covington. Caleb in there, and that shot wouldn't go. It's going to send Dunbar back to the stripe with 28 seconds.
I think if you look at this game tomorrow and you weren't here, if you look at it in the newspaper and you look at the box score, you're going to be like, oh, Dunbar won. There was no doubt in it. It's going to be a 15-point game. But I think if you were here or you watched the game on PrepSpin, you saw the contest that we were able to watch tonight. Just a great effort by Scott. They played hard enough to win. They just didn't make the shots they needed to. Credit to Dunbar.
And I think the senior leadership of Dunbar was the difference. I mean, these are great players for Scott County, but they're freshmen and sophomore. You got the seniors, Darius Williams, Jordan Lewis leading the way, and Justin Kelly for Dunbar.
And I want to say one thing. I think a lot of teams, a lot of players think playing with pressure, playing with the best team is easy. It's not. You're always everybody's number one. It's like Golden State the other night. They lost. I don't want to talk about the NBA, but they lost to the Lakers.
And Lakers have won all of
12 games.
12 games this
I watched that, and that's the biggest upset in history.
Right.
It's tough to have the number one.
15 seconds, and that's what we are from a 11th region crown by Dunbar. And Williams has got it. He's going to hand it to Jordan Lewis, and Lewis is going to smile, and he's going to dribble it out. Dunbar is heading to Rupp Arena. They are your 11th region champions. And they will take on the 12th next Wednesday night. Scott County, a great season. But Dunbar, your number one team in the state. And there's a reason they're number one, Coach.
There's a reason. And like we were saying, it's difficult. Everybody predicted them to come out of the 11th. It's difficult to live up to those expectations. And they were able to do that through their senior leadership. There was a point in the game where it was a 6-3, 8-point game. And they were able to withstand the rush by these young Scott County players and ultimately win the game. Pretty comfortably at the end, but it was a 6-point game here in the fourth quarter. It could have been anybody's game.
Leading scorers, Rob has 13 for Scott County, Marino 11 and 9 rebounds. Tavion Hollingsworth with 21 points, 9 rebounds, 13 for Dontel Brown, and also 9 for Williams. And we'll take a break come back with post-game. We'll be back here with some post-game activities here and try to get Coach Scott Chalk on PrepSpin. We'll return after this. We want to take a shot of the celebration here by Dunbar, your 11th region champs, the Dunbar Bulldogs. Coach Lee DeForest, Darren Douglas. We'll have to try to get Scott Chalk over here with a headset. That's the only way he's going to be able to hear us with the band firing up. But Coach, I know you did the second. Donnie called the first half. But your thoughts of this basketball game? Try to break it down.
Well, let's give credit to Scott County and Coach Billy Hicks and his team. He had his team ready to play. Okay, they came out and played a defense they don't really play much of. Okay, they're a pressured defensive team, and they came out and played a 3-2 zone, which slowed down Dunbar. It slowed them down a little bit, and they were able to contain Williams. Look, Williams had 9 points. He averages 27 a game in this tournament, and they slowed him down, which forced other players like a Brown to step up and finish with 13 points and 10 rebounds. But that's what championship teams do. Whenever one player struggles, someone else steps up and carries the load. Brown was a big difference in this game, if not the difference, with his play on the offensive end. And then on the other side, you've got Scott County. Look at, man, Moreno, these guys, Rob, Covington, they're going to be a handful. You have Rob finish with 13 points. Moreno finished with 11 points. Both of those guys really did what they had to do, and they executed the game plan, and they were right there. A couple missed layups, a couple missed free throws. Difference in the game there in the fourth quarter.
And Scott Chalk gets his first regional championship, 4th year at Dunbar, and
he's been in the 11th region 21 years. Remember we talked to him on the
but I'm talking about his first championship.
Yes, and that's one. He's been in it a long. I'm just speaking at the level of competition in the 11th. You know, you've been in here.
He was at Franklin County and Frankfort, I believe.
Yes, he was, and he worked his way up. I mean, it's not easy. This region's unbelievable. It's competitive, and he was able to stick with it and won a regional here, and that's quite an accomplishment. A lot of coaches, a lot of great coaches have been in this region and not had that opportunity.
Yeah, not won 11th region titles. It's just one of the toughest regions this year, top to bottom, considered the toughest region in the state of Kentucky. So William Warfield, great job by the King of Stream. I'll tell you what, a lot of people texting us and emailing us tonight about the great picture they've been watching all week long on PrepSpin in high definition.
It's always first quality, and I always like working with you, Gary. You've been in this business a long time, a couple Hall of Fames yourself, so it's always a pleasure to work with a professional. I'm still just glad to be here, enjoying the ride. You guys brought me along, so it's been a lot of fun, and it's fun to be a part of this game. If I'm not coaching, at least I can sort of talk about it.
Well, you're over there with one of Donnie Atkins' favorite is Damon Kelly, so you're over there with a good one at West Jessamine. You guys did a great job, but I tip my hat to Billy Hicks. I know that there's a lot of things people probably might not really embellish.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
They get on Coach Calipari.
Yeah.
They get on. They used to get on Pat Riley.
Yeah.
They used to. It just if you coach, that's part of the job.
But the point I was going to make is this might have been his best coaching job ever. I know he's won state championships. I know he's won 11th region championships. But with 3 freshmen, a sophomore, and a junior, they come very close to winning this, the toughest region in the state, the 11th region.
They did. And, a lot of coaches in his position might have been just happy. You know what I mean? Like happy, okay, I got freshmen. I know I'll be here next year. Let's just win one game. Or let's just get to the regional. That's great. They win one game in the region. Okay, we won one game. Right. Nobody expected us. No, these guys came out and competed. They changed their game plan for this game. They executed. They did what they had to do. But at the end of the day, Dunbar was the more talented team, able to finish here, finish the shots they needed to. Led by Hollingsworth, okay? The steals that he got, the pressure he was able to put on that defense made the difference in the game. But on the other hand, they had the opportunities. I know Covington, he's going to step up. He's a lefty. Could have finished those free throws. Had a couple more Moreno touches inside. A couple finishes by Long for 3. Might have been the difference in the game, but it didn't happen. Credit to Dunbar.
They are announcing the all 11th region all tournament team right now to the crowd, and we're going to try to get Scott Chalk giving out the awards. Donnie Atkins, our own Donnie Atkins. The all tournament team being announced here by the public address announcer.
Diablo Stewart.
Yeah.
Franklin County.
What is he, a freshman?
Yeah, he's a freshman.
Started as an 8th grader, I think, last year.
He did.
Rebecca Cook's been telling me about him, what a great player he is.
Give a shout out here to Michael Jefferson, plays for our AU team. I know his dad, Craig Jefferson, is
watching.
Had a
career high, 23 points.
Hey, he's hard to stop. He's unbelievable. Lefty. He can play. He can go either way, but really talented player. Has a lot of different skills.
So Michael Jefferson, I enjoyed calling his game the other night because, like you say, he a really outstanding player. Michael Marino, no surprise, named to the. He's really upset. You can tell he's a 15-year-old kid, folks, Michael Marino. But remember that name because the next 3 years he's a freshman, so 3 more years with him. His senior year, I predict right now, his senior year, he's going to win Mr. Basketball.
Yeah, if he keeps, here's the trick, right? That's the thing. But he doesn't look like he might even be finished growing in the skill set that he has. He's already one of the best rebounders, best post players.
And how about this? Big Dontel Brown named to the all-region team here. That's a great honor for the kid that's known more for his football over there at Dunbar.
Listen, this kid's a load. He finished, like you said, 13 and 10. He only missed, what did he miss? 2 shots from the field. Just hard to guard in there, and he stepped up when they needed him most.
So 51-49, Paul Dunbar catches grabs the 11th region crown. And when you look at this region, no disrespect to any other region. I know you coach in the 12. And Mercer County and Southwestern and all those clubs, West Jessamine, have been strong all year. But at one time this year, the 11th region had not 1, not 2, but 5 teams ranked in the top 20.
Well, like you always said, we said this before, they're very talented. It's hard to find more talent in one area in Kentucky. Let me tell you, Louisville, Hopkinsville, Lexington, that's probably concentrated area year after year. You're going to have a ton of talent coming out of those areas.
Right, and of course right now Christian County getting a lot of love down there in Western Kentucky. I've not seen them play, but they're getting a lot of love right now. Some polls have them number 1 over Dunbar.
I used to be an assistant in Christian County with Kerry Stovall back in
he's a great
2009, 2000. Yeah, we won the state in 2011.
Got a kid named pretty good point guard there. He wasn't bad.
He's playing professional overseas. Anthony Hickey.
Yeah, Hickey wasn't bad. Wasn't a bad little quarterback either.
He's one of the most unbelievable athletes I've ever seen.
And let's give credit where it's due. Dameron makes the all-region team. Cooper Robb for Scott County. So far you got Dontel Brown, Jordan Lewis, and Darius Williams. And your MVP is probably going to be Tavion Hollingsworth, who had 21 points. And Tavion Hollingsworth. Yeah, Tavion Hollingsworth, your 11th region MVP, the junior. Remember, he's back next year.
He's back next year. He's one of the most talented players in the state. I think the thing we noticed about him, he's so fast. He's a smooth player. He doesn't look like he's ever really trying, but he's always the fastest guy out there, and he does so many things for his team.
And look at those guys from Scott County that made the all-region. Michael Marino, Cam Dameron, and Cooper Robb. They're all 3 back next year for Billy Hicks.
They're all 3
Plus,
back.
almost everybody's back. Cooper Watts will be back as well, and he is a junior. So, great regional final. We're going to try to get Scott Chalk over here as they named they gave the all-region team. So, congrats to Dunbar for winning the 11th region.
Yeah, they really deserved it. They did everything they had to do. They had game pressure, which they haven't had for this tournament. The pressure of the game was on them, okay? And then Tavion had to step up, which he did. His defense really turning into offense for them, and they were able to come out and do what they had to do. Listen, it's not easy to be ranked number 1, coming in as a 30-point favorite or 20-point or whatever you want to say, and then come out and finish the game like they had to.
Dunbar coming over to high-five the dog pound.
Oh!
What?
Coach Chalk with the dab. Did you see that?
What'd he do?
The cam.
So we're trying to get Coach Chalk over here to get his thoughts on this regional championship.
That's funny. That's a happy man right there.
Scott County has already left the floor.
You've got to ask him about the dab.
So we're trying to get. Here we go.
Yeah.
Thanks. Coach Chalk making his way in here.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach Chalk, congratulations, 11th region crown. You fought and battled in this region for many years, and you get the regional title. And I tell you what, some guys really stepped up. Dontel Brown, I thought, was huge in this game.
Yeah, he played great. Great at the defensive end, just really sharp and had some nice plays offensively. He was really tuned in tonight, stayed focused.
What did you tell your ball club coach? You beat them by 30 back on February 18th, and they installed a 3-2 zone just specifically for this game. But they did slow it down, but your ball club responded, I thought.
Well, we've seen a ton of that this year, so we were kind of expecting something like that. Right. I didn't know that they would stay with it as long as they did. It surprised me they stayed with it, really. I thought they'd show something and then go back to their traditional man-to-man and run and jump kind of stuff they do. But we were ready for it. We thought that would be a case. We just didn't. Even though we were ready, there's a lot of jitters on these nights. We didn't really execute as well as we wanted to.
Coach, 4 of your starters make the all tournament team. Justin Kelly was the only starter. But I tell you what, there wasn't a player on this floor tonight that fought harder and hustled more than Justin Kelly.
Absolutely. Justin, I mean, all the guys know. I mean,
Yeah.
Justin's the glue to this thing. I mean, he plays every position, guards the toughest guy on the other team. I mean, he's super. We're not here without him for sure.
Coach, describe that feeling you had when it ran down to all zeros and you're heading to Rupp Arena a week from Wednesday to play the 12th region.
I don't know if it's sunk in totally yet, Gary, to be honest with you. You know, I mean, it wasn't as overwhelming as I probably thought it was going to be yet. So, I mean, I think it's getting there, but it was so hard of a game, such a battle that, you know, you're so tuned into that it's hard to stay, you know, think about the future. You know, you're just battling to win it.
You know, not since the Cameron Mills, Darnell Burton days, in my opinion, has Dunbar had a tandem like Tavion, and I just call him Tavion because to me he's like, you know, LeBron. I mean, when you're as good as he is, it's Tavion and Darius and Joe and Kelly. We already talked about. What is it like coaching guys with that much talent that can just take over a game?
They make all the things that you've been trying to do all year finally work. Suddenly you look like you know what you're doing when you didn't before, but it's just because if you got great players, they make plays when you put them in those positions, you know, and it just makes all the difference. It's really fun. You know?
Bluegrass Miracle! And Coach, the Bluegrass Miracle here. I didn't see a loud pass. Coach, you have to really you know, look at your school to support the dog pound. I saw all of you guys, even you. What the camera over there, Coach was asking me. What was it, Coach? He was talking about your, what you call it? Yeah,
it's rumored that I am a dancer, but a lot of people don't know that.
I didn't know that either, Coach. We learned a lot of good things about Scott Chalk. Well, Coach, it must feel good. I know now you can think about the state tournament, the 12th region. We'll try to figure out who won that region. The final was Mercer County and Southwestern, but you know, irregardless, it's going to be a tough opponent.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, every game when you get to that level is a tough game. You got to be ready. But these guys have done such a good job tuning in the game plan, which is something we couldn't get them to do last year. They were just too young to really focus and take care of it, and they have done that this year, and we've been ready for just about everybody we've played, even whether we've played good or not. So that's been huge. It's been a lot more fun that way because you can actually put together a game plan and they go out and pretty much execute it.
There's a lot of coaches going to this state tournament, 16 of them as a matter of fact next week. They don't know what they have. You know, they don't know how their kids are going to respond. I think Scott Chalk knows how certain players on his team. You know that Kelly's going to be diving for balls. You know that Tavion and Darius are going to step up. You know Dontel Brown's going to bring it every game like he did tonight. So you know going in that you're going to get effort from all your ball players.
So, I mean, no doubt. Super, and plus they have the experience now that we don't get too rattled and anything doesn't go well or whatever. Hey,
comes another fan of Coach Chalk. Is that
my daughter?
My daughter,
Caitlin.
Caitlin coming in there to give Dad a big hug. Well, Coach, you got to be proud of this ball club, and I know all of Paul Lawrence Dunbar is proud of the job you've done with it. Because it's one thing to have this many superstars. It's one thing to be able to – LeBron James always says this, and he's considered the best player on the planet. It's one thing to be able to coach that and make those guys play hard, and that's what this team does for you. They play very, very hard.
Yeah, you have to adapt to their personalities and their ideas a little bit and kind of come along. It's this thing about high school coaching. I always say high school coaches are the best coaches in the world, not college or NBA coaches. Because in high school, you don't get to choose your talent.
That's right.
When it comes along, you got to figure out what you're doing. You can't be married to something that doesn't work with them. You got to adjust to them every year.
Well, you did figure it out, and you figured.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations, and Coach, we've enjoyed the ride with you too here on the broadcast, covering all your tournament games.
Thank you guys,
and covering a lot of your games in the regular season. You know what? It was a lot of fun covering you in that champion. I think it all started at that traditional bank.
That was a big turnaround for us.
With
for sure.
You guys.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you guys. We appreciate
Scott Chalk, who just won the 11th Region Championship here with his Dunbar Bulldogs at 51-39, and Coach. And then we're also going to try to grab a couple players here we're going to try to get Tavion too. But, you know, Coach Chalk kind of said it best there, Coach DeForest. You know, his ball club, it's very, and like I said, it's one thing to have all that talent on it. It's another thing totally as a coach to get him to play that hard and want to win. And he's got that, you know, from all of them, down from the best player on the team to the number 12th or 13th player on the team. They put it out there for him.
Yeah, a lot of coaches lament. I've heard this often. We don't have, you know, this, we don't have that, maybe the talent. But I think some coaches overlook the ability to coach talent. You know, that's not the easiest thing in the world to get everybody to buy in, to sacrifice for the greater good, and that's what they were able to do. And really unbelievable the job that he's done there with Dunbar. And
we're going to step out, take a quick break. We're going to try to come back and get a player. Thanks to Scott Chalk for joining us, the lead to force. Great job as always as analyst, and Donnie Atkins as well. We'll come back and we'll try to get a player here on the star of the game on the post game. The 11th region champions, your Paul Lawrence Dunbar Bulldogs, 51-39 over a very young Scott County team. We're back here with the star of the game and the MVP of the 11th region tournament. Young man that, I don't even call your last name anymore. I just say Tavion, because, LeBron is never called LeBron. He's just called LeBron. So when you're that good of a high school player, you deserve just Tavion. So, Tavion, I got to ask you, how does it feel to be the region champs going to the state tournament next week?
It feels great. I've never been here, so I've never felt the feeling of doing this, so.
Well, even AAU ball. Had you played against some of these Scott County kids in AAU basketball?
Nope, not at all.
What is it about your team that's so cohesive? It seems like you, Darius, Dontel, Jordan, Kelly, all of you guys really enjoy playing basketball together, don't you? It's fun.
Yeah, it's awesome.
When did that all start?
It started when I was a freshman, and we just grew together.
What about Scott County? Can you tip your hat to them? I mean, they played a well of a ball game here tonight. It just wasn't enough.
Yeah, they played pretty good.
Tavion, your opponent at the state tournament will be the 12th region. Do you know anything about Mercer County or Boyle County?
I've seen Mercer County play. I haven't seen Boyle, though.
Right. So Mercer's got a fine ball club if they win that region. What will it be like with over a week now to prepare for the state tournament? What will Dunbar do, you think, with over a week to play before your next game? Do some scrimmaging or stuff like that?
Yeah, we got scrimmage and focus. No goofing off.
What were the keys to this game? You had 21 points, 9 of 11 from the free throw line. You also had 9 rebounds. What do you think the keys to you all winning this game were as you try to break it down, Tavion?
The keys was just rebounding. We know that if they got second chance points, then they was going to score them.
That's right. Well, Scott County, you had played them earlier in the year, just a few weeks ago. You beat them by 30. What did you think coming into this game? We beat these guys so soundly. You knew it'd probably be a little bit tougher in the regional final, didn't you?
Yeah, we all know that in the tournament, teams could get better than what they was when we played them in the regular season, so we had to be ready.
Well, Tavion, thank you, young man. We appreciate your time, and we'll see you at Rupp Arena and have a good tournament there for the 11th region.
Yes, sir.
Tavion Hollingsworth, our star of the game. Thank you, Tavion, and we'll come back and let's get Coach DeForest. Let's get Coach DeForest back in here again. Thanks to Tavion Hollingsworth for joining us here with. I tell you what, he's a humble young man. I said, well, you got a week over a week. What's it like? The fact that they'll have 9 days before their next ball game because they don't open up state tournament play till a week from Wednesday of this week. So 9 days.
Yeah, I think he's going to focus on getting them rest, getting shots up. The earliest you want to get back in there. At least from my experience is you take them in, get them. Try hard work. The hardest work as you're going to do will be the first few days, so you can save their legs. It's so late in the year and. I don't know. At this point, it's not really going to be about a ton of different plays or adjustments or anything. Maybe you do a few inbounds things, but it's really trying to make sure everybody stays healthy, stays in rhythm, keep their shots going. I'm sure, listen, as hard as these kids have played to win this, the 11th region, there's going to be just injuries, not injuries, but just nagging, knee here, ankle here, as hard as Hollingsworth. He hit the floor 3 or 4 times, had to be taken out, finished as the MVP of the game. But that's what you have to do if you want to be a champion. You have to sacrifice yourself. It doesn't go to whoever ends up after the game with the with the prettiest jersey. It goes to the guy that puts his blood and skin and sweat on the floor, and that's what Dunbar did. So it's going to be a lot about they already have the warrior mentality. They've been number one all year. They've been fighting, taking on all comers. So just keeping their mentality really and not overlooking anyone, even though, if you look at the scoreboard, if you look in the paper, you listen to people, the 12th region probably isn't as competitive as some, Louisville region or Hopkinsville. That's what I'm saying. If at least it's not that. It's still competitive. Mercer County ranked in the if they're expected to win.
They were undefeated for a long time.
Right, undefeated, ranked in the top. So it's not a cakewalk no matter who comes out of that. But you don't want them focusing too much on winning the state at this point. It's one game at a time, win and survive. And I know Coach Chalk, he's had a ton of experience, been with a ton of different guys, and he's going to be able to get his team prepared to play their best in Rupp Arena.
Here's some scores from some other regions, Coach. McCracken County in the first region, this is a semifinal game. They beat Grays 58-51. No scoring on Murray and Tillman. In the second region, Barron County beat Warren Central 58-53.
Fourth. Barron County's fourth region.
Okay, let me look at that again. Yeah, you're right, fourth, because it skipped from the second right to the fourth. So missing the third region on there, so no Meade County score. Also, Bowling Green, Russell County, they're playing in the fourth. In the fifth region, Taylor County, North Hardin, 69-49. In the fifth, Bardstown, Central Hardin, no score. In the sixth, Doss 58, Bullitt East 54. No scores yet from the eighth region. There should be, because Collins and South Oldham played at 6 o'clock. That game's probably been over for a long time. In the ninth region, Newport Central Catholic upset Covington Catholic 52-47. I called that yesterday on my radio show.
I mean, maybe that's an upset, but I've seen Newport Catholic in person. Those guys are Newport Catholic's pretty talented too.
A mild upset, but an upset.
Okay. All right.
I'll give you that. Mason County, this is in the 10th. They beat Paris 67-63. Wow, I thought Paris might be their year over there. Here, of course, Dunbar wins the 11th, 51-39. No scores in from the 12th or the 13th. And looking at the 15th region, Johnson Central, they beat East Ridge 59-45. And then in the 16th, Elliott beat Lewis County 59-49. Those are the scores we have right now. Great working with you, Lee DeForest, and keep up the great work with the Princeton offense, and keep up the great work with the West Jessamine Colts over there in the 12th region. And also, we'll be looking forward to working with you in the future on more broadcasts here on PrepSpin.
Yeah, it's been a great learning experience. Just because I've been around the basketball side of it my entire life, but you've been doing the broadcast side of it, and I appreciate you taking me under your wing here and bringing me along, and just letting me be a part of the games. It's been so exciting to sit here and watch, and you get to see these coaches in person. It's really been an honor and a pleasure, and I appreciate you letting me work with you.
It's been great. And, of course, William Warfield, the producer, King of String, making it all happen here on the broadcast. He'll be heading to NKU, my old stomping ground up there in the 9th region, where I played at Boone County, the girls' state tournament that starts up there Wednesday. And, of course, Franklin County, our 11th region champ, plays Shelby Valley at 1:30 approximately on Wednesday afternoon. So good luck to the 11th region. Good luck to all the girls heading up there. I'll tell you what, they're going to love that BB&T Arena. That is an absolutely fabulous facility. Seats about 8,000 or 9,000, and it is a great venue. Not a bad seat in the house there at NKU. You got the big ship. The big North ship.
It's first class. And I want to shout out, if he's there, Coach John Brannon used to be at Eastern Kentucky here as an assistant with Travis Ford, who's now the head coach at Northern Kentucky, doing a great job. First year there, transition year. They got a lot of good players coming in, and they've got Drew McDonald, who was a freshman this year. Yeah. He made the all-conference team as a freshman.
Carson Williams is heading up there from Owen County, and I think it's going to be very close, but I think he might be Mr. Basketball this year.
And there's a player, his name escapes me, that plays for Newport Catholic that's also on his way to Northern Kentucky. And John Brannon himself played at Newport Catholic for Ronnie Don, who just took his team to that big upset. So, it's exciting.
Great season for high school basketball, and it concludes with the girls and boys Sweet 16. The St. Elizabeth Healthcare, the new title sponsor for the KHSA AA Girls Sweet 16, begins Wednesday at the BB&T Arena on the campus of Northern Kentucky University. Folks, it's easy to find. It couldn't be any easier. I used to live up there for 20 years. Just go 75, get off 275. You don't want to go toward the airport. You're going the wrong way. Go the other way east, and you'll see the NKU exit right there after about 5 or 6 exits on 275. Jump off there. It'll literally drive you right into the BB&T Arena, and the parking is ample there. I did a arena football game up there last year, so know it very well. And so that'll be a great venue for the girls. And then, of course, in 2 weeks, this Dunbar team will be in action. And we do know that Mercer and Boyle are in the 12th region final. So Boyle's got the guy that I love. I call him the eraser, Mr. Elkins.
Yeah,
he blocks everything.
How about the job Steve Adams has done here in the second
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
taking a team that, I swear, I don't have the stats in front of me, but they were probably 1-7 their last 8 games in the regular season, and then pulling off a late tournament run. But the talent they have, like you said, Mr. Eraser makes a big difference in high school games when you have a controller.
We're gonna wrap it up here, folks. I know we're rambling on. For Lee DeForest, Gary Ball, for Darren Douglas, for William Moorfield, thanks for watching here on PrepSpin with all week action. And the 11th region champions, the girls from Franklin County and the boys from Dunbar, 51-39 over this very talented young team, Scott County Cardinals. For Lee DeForest, all the gang here, thanks for watching on PrepSpin. So long, everybody.
Thanks.
William, we're out. We're out.
Yeah.
Good job, Darren. I know what you did.
Now, Billy, that doesn't surprise me. But then Donnie turned around, he said Scott was damn tight, and he tried to talk to him earlier. He said, I knew Billy was good. Billy always was sick. He wouldn't even let me talk to Chris tonight. That's how tight he was. Yeah. Billy was so tight, he squeaked. And then I looked up, I go,
That's what happens. That's such a tough.
I know. I looked up, I said, wait a minute, is that Billy Hicks Coach Ball Club there playing the damn zone? Are you serious? But he knew he couldn't guard them.
Coach said the same thing.
Well, but they were so much more physical, too, than Scott County. They're just young.
Now, when these freshmen are sophomores and juniors, they'll be able to play with those guys.
Oh, hell yeah.
Of course, he's got Tavion back next year.
Yeah, but what else does he have to go with it? Is the point guard back, or is he a senior?
Hey, Justin. Hey, Kelly. Good job, man. Way to hustle, brother. Good job. Good luck to the state. All right. Are you excited about it? I'm excited. I know, man. See ya.
Did Mercer actually win the 12th?
They're playing Boyle.
Tonight?
Tomorrow.
Did they beat Southwest last night? Mercer did?
Boyle did? Wait. No. Boyle beat Casey. Mercer beat Southwest.
That's right.
That was the champ. I mean,
basically. Because Steve Wright Ball Club is pretty damn well coached.
Steve knows what he's doing. So you're bringing that back? Sorry, man.
To get it on, if you were going to get it on the left hand.
Okay, put your.
Because that way I can drive, you know, and have that finger up. And somebody almost got drilled today. I'm coming down 60 back towards.
Okay, now you put it back there. I don't have to get anything on slow.
I was coming down 60. All of a sudden, this white pickup out of nowhere. He had to be doing 90 on 60. Now where is the damn cop? He whips out from behind me into the right-hand lane and runs up on another guy that's going slow in the right-hand, and then whips right back in front of me, almost catches my front bumper, as well as the car in the right lane in the back bumper. That'd been about a car pile up if he'd done it. I'm surprised I didn't rip my penis. Then he got back on front of me, he wanted to have the brakes start mouthing it. Really? It was my fault.
Remember your wireless dinner?
I know. Here.
I don't want you to forget it.
Shit, you think I spent $400 on this? I'm gonna forget it? Are you serious?
Fine.
And then Jay Lucas wanted to steal it from me?
Ronnie Dawn pulled out a big one tonight.
Who's he playing in the final?
Cupcat. No, he beat Cupcat tonight. I'm not sure. There's a couple of years he probably had the best team in the state and didn't get any luck. So
They will play. Let's see.
Don't tell me they play Boone County.
No. They doesn't even have who the other game
well,
is.
They keep pulling everybody out of Boone and putting them in new schools.
Oh, that was the championship. That was the finals. They're in the state tournament.
Okay.
Newport County, they're in the state tournament. That was their finals.
Who's in the finals of the 8th?
Oldham County plays Anderson. Collins plays South Oldham.
Tonight.
No score. I don't know why these scores are so slow.
Well, you know who coaches Oldham? You know who coaches Oldham?
I tell you what now.
I'll be somewhere, who knows?
I saw something tonight I've never seen before. Bass Break.
I'll be done to stop. Oh, yeah.
That was absolutely horrible.
That's the first first thing. This is the first thing Mike Walls pointed out. Well, I just happened to be standing behind him when that happened. And Sonny goes, that's the old Sonny D I've been listening to. He's mellowed out since he had that heart attack. Mellowed out big time. That's me. I kind of know it too, because I all that stuff to do. Not much, but I know it. Well, mine's stripped. Run a 55-year-old screw in the sales.
Appreciate it, guys.
My name's Seth. I'm not a back. Y'all talk much. I'll do whatever you need. Well, and they wanted to blame it on them.